the supreme dragon of the era of Tamers. This video is purely for entertainment and does not infringe on copyrights or laws. The rights to the novel and image belong to the original author. We do not claim ownership. Don't like waiting and want to listen to this fanfic in full now? Subscribe to our Patreon, where you'll find the best fanfics. Chapter 26 Competition Registration. The Beast Tamer building has many floors and covers a large area. This time, Chen Wei did not consult the front desk lady, but took K Ling to stroll between the floors of the building. He has been curious about the Beast Tamer Association for a long time, but he did not have a good look around the building last time because he was training with Lao Wang. Chen Wei first came to the 5th floor, which is the task hall of the Beast Tamer Association. The Beast Tamer Association occasionally issues some bounty tasks, and Beastmasters can get generous rewards by completing these tasks. Of course, not all the tasks with high bounties from the association can be handled and completed by Beastmasters. There are always a few difficult tasks left every year. These difficult tasks are piled up and hung in the task hall all year round, but there are always very few Beastmasters who dare to take the tasks. As for simple training tasks, they are in short supply. Although the reward star coins are very few, it happens that a large number of students who have contracted initial pets have just appeared recently. Some students who have just become junior Beastmasters don't care about money or not. They were in a state of excitement, eager to prove themselves, and only wanted to prove their abilities through the tasks of the Beast Tamer Association. Therefore, Chen Wei, who had a skill, did not have the idea of going to the Beast Tamer Association to take tasks to make money, because it was too tempting. He looked at the sea of people in the clean and bright hall, and the surrounding noises were heard from time to time. Some Beastmasters even release their small pets to take tasks, trying to prove their strength. Wow, there are so many people. Fortunately, I just want to take a look at the excitement. After looking at the sea of people lined up in the queue, Chen Wei sighed with gratitude. Then Chen Wei turned around outside this spacious hall, and his attention came to the rare pets next to some Beastmasters. He saw an emerald green, Tengayan Kingjin, lying on the head of a handsome young man. This is a rare wood-type high-level extraordinary pet in Shushan City. The young man's initial pet is Tengayan Kingjin, which means that he is a traveler from other cities, but Chen Wei doesn't know why he came to this remote Shushan City. Woof woof, a deep roar with full of energy instantly caught Chen Wei's attention. There were Beastmasters who dared to release such medium to large pets in the mission hall, and they were not afraid of being fined by the staff of the association. He looked in surprise at the place where the sound came from. I saw an uncle wearing a t-shirt and slippers stroking a large mastiff with a purple metallic luster. It was a top elite, purple steel thunder mastiff. This uncle had a mine at home. This was Chen Wei's first impression. The purple steel thunder mastiff was similar to coyote dog, but the coyote dog usually eats oil, and this thing eats source steel. Unlike ordinary steel, source steel is a man-made synthetic product. It contains a small amount of source power. The material is extremely strong, and it also has the transmission of source energy, which makes it very valuable. Therefore, this kind of pet that eats several source steels in one meal is extremely expensive to raise. How can people who don't have a mine at home afford it? Looking at the various pets not far away, Chen Wei couldn't help but shake his head. He didn't expect that there were so many hidden local tyrant Beastmasters in Shushan City. It's a pity that I'm not one of them, Chen Wei sighed silently in his heart. After sighing, Chen Wei, who was attracted by the many pets, remembered the purpose of coming to the Beast Taming Association today. He hurriedly went to the 6th floor of the building according to the signs in the hall. The 6th floor is the professional battle place, specially provided by the Beast Taming Association for many Beastmasters. Chen Wei had just arrived at the 6th floor and had not walked a few steps when a staff member with bright eyes and white teeth came forward and asked, "Hello, this is the fighting venue. How can I help you?" Chen Wei was not used to the overly enthusiastic girl, so he casually replied, "I want to fight." "Is there any vacant venue?" She smiled and nodded, indicating, "Not yet, but if you sit and wait for a while, there will be a vacant platform for fighting." Chen Wei, "Okay, excuse me, do you have an opponent? If not, we can provide a sparring partner with similar strength to you." "No, how much does it cost if you arrange a sparring partner?" "It only costs 1,000 star coins for an hour, and there is a huge discount for booking now, only 688 star coins." The girl had a standard smile on her face. 688 star coins? Chen Wei was stunned when he heard this. This price is not low. His meal only costs 50 star coins. Even if it is K-Ling's rations, a snow lotus pill a day will cost 2,000 star coins. Huh? Chen Wei exclaimed. With this conversion, he suddenly felt that it was not so expensive. This price was barely acceptable. Do I need to pay extra for the medical expenses of the pet after the duel? Chen Wei asked. If he could save this medical expense, he would make an appointment directly. Of course, and we will be responsible for repairing the damage to the venue caused by you in the battle. The girl nodded as a matter of course. Not to mention that the association only provides battle venues for beastmasters below the elite level, and the pets below the third level are not qualified to cause damage to the venue. She didn't believe that the boy in front of her could have a pet above the third level at such a young age. Okay, please help me make an appointment for a sparring partner with a pet strength of the 10th level of the juvenile, Chen Wei said cheerfully. Okay, please come this way. Under her leadership, Chen Wei came to a magnificent hall. At this time, there were already many beastmasters sitting in the hall waiting for their battle. Please wait a moment. When the sparring partner is free, the large screen above the hall will prompt you with a number to go to the venue. A moment later, the girl handed over another tablet computer. Hello, this is the fixed process of the association. There are still some information that you need to fill in person. Chen Wei took a look and found that they were all simple questions about pet information, so he filled them out quickly. After returning the tablet to the girl, he asked curiously, "Is this hour a full hour?" "Yes." The girl looked at him in surprise and said, "If you are confident, you can participate in the apprentice challenge we held recently. As long as you can defeat 10 challengers in a row on the ring, you will receive our special gift package." Chen Wei suddenly became interested and asked, "When does this competition start and what are the requirements?" It was not long since he and K-Ling finished their hard training, and they just needed a lot of battles to improve their strength, and if they were lucky, they might even get prizes. She smiled and said, "You have already purchased the sparring package here, so you are automatically eligible to participate. The competition will be held at 8 a.m. next Monday at the A-Zone competition venue." The girl added, "This competition only accepts juvenile pets. Sir, you can give it a try. If you want to participate, I can help you sign up now." Chen Wei nodded with interest. "Thank you, please sign me up." This Apprentice Champion Challenge is very interesting to Chen Wei. The planner of this event is also a genius, who actually came up with a gimmick of 1 against 10. Chapter 27 Flame Salamander. The numbers on the big screen changed very slowly. Chen Wei, who never saw his number, had to sit on the chair and look around boredly. As a result, he found a few familiar faces. They were the students of their beast taming class too. It seems that their choice is the same as mine. They did not choose to study with Teacher Zhou, but felt that practicing alone is more efficient. Looking at the students playing and joking in the distance, Chen Wei had no interest in going up to say hello. After all, Chen Wei and Ding Wenhao, one of them, had a conflict before, so that they basically had no communication in class. He was a familiar stranger. It would be awkward to go up and say hello for no reason. Chen Wei sat and waited in the hall for more than half an hour. Seeing that the number of people sitting in the hall gradually decreased, he could not sit still. Chen Wei began to complain in his heart. "Is this what she said about sitting and waiting for a while? I have been waiting for almost an hour." Sure enough, the more beautiful women are, the more likely they are to lie. The female receptionist with bright eyes and white teeth looked pretty, but she actually deceived him, a young student, to sell a sparring package. You know, time is money. His part-time job today only took an hour. Forget it, it was also his fault for not asking for the specific waiting time. Bored, Chen Wei had to take out his notebook and summon K-Ling, preparing to continue teaching her the basic characters of Blue Star. K-Ling may be arrogant, but she was born not long ago and was full of curiosity about all the new things in the human world, and was more willing to try. She had just learned the word K-Ling in the morning, and now she can write her name fluently with telekinesis, and even the characters she wrote are more standard and powerful than those written by Chen Wei. She was obviously copying his characters to learn, so why did K-Ling's characters become so standard? Chen Wei looked at his sloppy handwriting that seemed to have been crawled by a dog with shame, and then decisively took out the mobile phone in his trouser pocket, searched and opened the video teaching of Donghua Basic Language Enlightenment. Let K-Ling learn from the video, so that he won't mislead the students. It's always good to learn more knowledge while you are young. Maybe K-Ling will need it in the future. 10 minutes later, Chen Wei finally saw his number on the notification on the big screen. A 9527 Beastmaster Chen Wei, A area battlefield, number 13 battle platform. It's finally my turn. It seems that I have to go to another battle venue next time. The battle platform of the Beastmaster Association is too popular. On the number 13 battle platform, the referee was cleaning up the venue while chatting with his sparring partner Guo Cheng. Be careful in the battle later. That junior beast tamer seems to be very powerful, a rare beast taming genius. Don't fail, old Guo. Hearing this, Guo Cheng glanced at him unhappily. Are you kidding? A student who has only contracted his initial pet for a week wants me to fail. How is that possible? I am a junior beast tamer who has been tempered in the secret realm. Then he sighed, but to be honest, it has only been a short time, and his extraordinary pet, the cold jade snake, has reached the 10th level of larval life. This promotion speed is really a bit outrageous. When I first signed the contract, it took me a whole year to get my pet promoted to the 10th level of larval life. That kid was born with a silver spoon in his mouth. If I had the same, the referee Xia Zhe quickly interrupted his long speech with a smile. Yes, if you had his resources, you might have been a senior beast tamer by now. Guo Cheng frowned and said unhappily, although the pets are both at level 10, the difference between the same level is huge. My pet's strength is improved through steady training, while that kid's pet probably relies on resources to improve quickly, and the foundation is not stable at all. With my long experience in the battlefield, as long as I am a little serious, believe it or not, I can defeat him in a few rounds. At this time, Xia Zhe, who had already dealt with the dust on the platform, turned around and said, then I'll wait and see. Following the signpost, Chen Wei came to the battlefield number 13 in Area A. Hello, is this Mr. Chen Wei, the 9527th Beastmaster? A young man in a referee uniform came up and asked politely. Chen Wei replied, yes, Xia Zhe, I am the referee Xia Zhe of the number 13 platform. Then he looked at the edge of the battle platform, and saw a boy wearing a black and red sparring suit, and then said, that's your sparring partner, the junior Beastmaster Guo Cheng. Chen Wei looked at Guo Cheng and nodded, then said, I understand, can we start fighting directly? He didn't want to continue to dawdle after wasting so much time waiting in the hall. No matter who it is, he will fight first, and he is getting impatient now. Of course, please take your place on the left platform, and the battle can start at any time. Referee Xia Zhe pointed in the direction. Both sides are ready for battle. 3, 2, 1, the battle begins. As soon as the referee Xia Zhe finished speaking, the light blue light intertwined into a blue rune array in front of Chen Wei, and the figure of K Ling quickly appeared in front of Chen Wei. At the same time, Chen Wei looked at the pet beast that was standing in place and looking up and spewing flames after the blue rune array on the opposite side disappeared. He quickly used the identification, pet name, flame salamander, pet attribute, fire, racial level, medium special, racial skills, explosive fireball, flame shock, venom spray. Introduction. The colorful fire salamander has a very bad temper and will spit out powerful fireballs or venom at enemies that approach it. Cherish life, please do not approach it casually. Chen Wei narrowed his eyes slightly, looking at the large lizard that was more than 1 meter long and covered with the black and red patterns in the distance, and his heart was inevitably hot and expectant. The appearance of this fire salamander looks very powerful, and I don't know how strong it is. It seems that I have to test it first. Chen Wei used his mind to command K Ling and said, use cold breath. K Ling's crystal clear body began to emit a faint blue source of power, and the ice crystals on both sides of her head also flashed with cold blue light. The light ball gathered in her snake mouth turned into a surging energy beam. Fight back directly with explosive flames from the front. Guo Cheng crossed his arms and confidently preached with his mind. He wanted to use the simplest energy collision to prove to Xia Zhe how terrifying the strength of his pet, the flame salamander, which had undergone arduous training, was. After receiving the order, the flame salamander's eyes condensed instantly. It sank its body, opened its huge mouth calmly, and inhaled suddenly. The surging fire source energy turned into a red fireball in its mouth, and the fireball was surrounded by billowing hot air. The burning high temperature seemed to evaporate all the moisture in the air. With a loud bang, the cold breath exhaled by K Ling turned into an energy beam and collided with the fireball, instantly raising a large cloud of smoke on the battle stage. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, It means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelis. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 28 Lightning Martin. The collision between ice and fire energy produced a large amount of dense smoke, which obscured the figures of the two pets on the battle stage. Ahem, Chen Wei had covered his nose with his hands, but the pungent smell of the smoke as it gradually spread made him cough a few times. Unable to see the specific situation in the thick fog, Chen Wei had to sense it through the contract. Kai Ling's condition is still very good, it seems there is still a chance to fight. Guo Chang's face froze. He didn't expect that the breath of the cold jade snake on the opposite side was so powerful that it could fight his pet on equal terms. Guo Chang hurriedly used the beast control contract to understand the situation of the flame salamander, but he could not feel the response from the other end of the contract. Guo Chang began to panic, his face turned pale in an instant, and he sat on the ground powerlessly. Recalling his previous lofty ambitions, his mood became heavier and heavier. He worked hard with the flame salamander for a year to hone his strength, but in the end he was defeated by a student who had just contracted a pet for a few days. After the smoke cleared, the first thing Chen Wei saw was the spirited Kai Ling, followed by the frost that covered the entire battle stage, and the large pieces of debris on the frost. A comatose fire salamander was lying in the icy debris. Chen Wei's mouth gradually rose. He didn't expect Kai Ling to give him such a big surprise. She defeated an opponent of the same level with just one cold breath. Winner, Chen Wei, looking at the battle situation in front of him, referee Xia Zhe said without hesitation. As a qualified referee, no matter what happens on the stage, he will announce the result accurately at the first time. But he couldn't help but glance at the distraught Guo Chang with a strange look in his eyes, thinking to himself, is this the defeat you said in a few rounds, before the battle? I reminded him to be serious, but he didn't believe it. As a result, he was defeated by me in one blow. It is estimated that it will be difficult for him to continue his sparring job. Xia Zhe then shook his head, feeling helpless. At this time, Chen Wei had come back to his senses after the excitement. He glanced at the time and said hesitantly to the referee Xia Zhe, I ordered a 1-hour sparring package, but it's less than 3 minutes now and the sparring partner's pet has fallen down. How should this be calculated? Not far away, Guo Chang, who was already pale, was struck by lightning when he heard this, and his body couldn't stop shaking. Sorry, please wait a moment, this is our mistake. This was the first time Xia Zhe encountered such a situation in his career. He directly pressed the button in his hand and asked the medical staff waiting nearby to come forward to treat the pet. Then he picked up the intercom in front of Chen Wei and reported the situation on the number 13 platform in a low voice. A moment later, Xia Zhe received the solution from the intercom. He smiled and said, hello, it's like this. Your sparring time will remain for 1 hour, and then your opponent will be changed to the sparring partner on the number 2 platform. Is that okay? Sure, Chen Wei was very satisfied with the result. Waiting for an hour, fighting for a minute. If the sparring session was to end simply like this, he would definitely not do it. Chen Wei, in a good mood, followed the referee Xia Zhe to the No. 2 platform. Is this the genius beast master you mentioned? A straightforward and hoarse female voice came into Chen Wei's ears. Attracted by his attention, Chen Wei looked in the direction of the voice. It was a sexy girl. Her delicate black hair was spread out over her shoulders, and she was wearing a blue camisole on her slightly wheat-colored skin. However, this small vest could hardly suppress the fullness of her chest, but instead brought out the slenderness of her waist. Ningyi was playing with a transparent glass in her hand, and her eyes were slightly scrutinizing when she looked at Chen Wei. Yes, it will be up to you to serve this customer next. This is Ningyi, your sparring partner. I have something to deal with over there, so I'll leave first. Xia Zhe threw such a paragraph to Chen Wei and turned and left directly. Ningyi ignored Xia Zhe's departure, and still looked at Chen Wei curiously. Do you want to do combat training directly or other ability training? Chen Wei asked in confusion. What do you mean by other ability training? My pet, the Lightning Martin, has a skill that can improve the training efficiency of the pet. For example, training the pet's speed, hit rate, and resistance to blows, Ningyi explained lightly. Moreover, this skill can only improve the efficiency by 10% at most, which is not very useful. In order to prevent Chen Wei from choosing ability training, she added, "Let's fight the pet." After thinking about it, Chen Wei still felt that what K-Ling lacked most now was combat experience. As for other abilities, he could slowly train himself. "As you wish," Ning Yi smiled knowingly on her cheek. Only through combat can you feel the most real posture of the pet. She chose to become a professional combat sparring partner just to pursue more exciting battles. Ning Yi could no longer hold back her excitement about the pet battle. She only hoped that Chen Wei standing in front of her would be as strong as Xia Zhe said. "Referee, the battle begins," Ning Yi instantly ordered. "A Dio, use lightning flash." The moment the sign array dissipated, a golden flash suddenly passed in front of Ning Yi. This was a lightning marten the size of a house cat, with a slender and yellow body, only the hair on its face was white, and it had a small eye patch on its eyes like a Zorro mask. At this time, it was wrapped in dazzling lightning, and the claws in its hands rushed towards K-Ling at lightning speed. Seeing that K-Ling couldn't dodge, Chen Wei quickly transmitted his thoughts. "Ice armor, Kaz." This was the sound of the ice armor breaking. K-Ling, who was constantly retreating due to the impact, suddenly tensed her muscles, exerted force with her tail, and forcibly stopped her body. Electric shock, Ning Yi, who was chasing after the victory, immediately ordered. As the lightning marten continued to approach K-Ling quickly, dazzling electric currents immediately appeared on its body, and then gathered into a huge electric current and shot out. Chen Wei's pupils suddenly shrank. Use telekinesis to dodge. If K-Ling was hit by this attack, she might lose her fighting power in an instant. The electric current that cut through the sky instantly hit the ground, causing a large cloud of dust. Counterattack with telekinesis. Sensing from the contract that K-Ling had narrowly avoided this attack, Chen Wei took this opportunity to order. A powerful telekinesis instantly enveloped the panting lightning marten. After a brief stalemate, the lightning marten, which still couldn't break free, was controlled by K-Ling's telekinesis to move to midair, and then suddenly fell down at high speed. Chapter 29, The Final Showdown. A Dio, Thunder Spirit, Thunderstorm. The sudden reversal of the situation caught Ning Yi off guard. She bit her rosy lips and continued to issue orders, trying to make a last-ditch effort. "Use cold breath to end it." Looking at the lightning marten falling from the sky, Chen Wei commanded. K-Ling immediately inhaled and gathered energy, and the blue-white light ball brewing in her mouth turned into a beam of energy that was freezing cold and rushed towards the lightning marten. At the same time, as if sensing the will of the beast master, the lightning marten suddenly exploded and directly used Thunder Spirit. The Thunder Spirit skill can greatly increase the power of its electric current and significantly reduce the charging time for it to use other electric skills. It seemed to be too late. Seeing that it was still a few seconds away from landing, the eyes of the lightning marten also dimmed a little. But it still did not give up, and tried its best to use the last thunderstorm. At this time, the petite body of the lightning marten looked particularly majestic under the brewing of the thunderstorm skill, and its hair stood up under the lingering of this terrifying electric current. Thunderstorm is an enhanced skill of electric shock, which is extremely powerful. The only disadvantage is that it takes a long time to charge when used, resulting in a low hit rate. Unfortunately, the cold blue cold current that penetrated the bones hit the lightning marten, which was still accumulating electricity in the air, accompanied by a few crisp sounds. A huge ice storm was instantly set off on the platform. Looking at the lightning marten collapsed in the frost, Chen Wei showed a confident smile and then used the identification skill. Pet name, lightning marten. Pet attribute, electricity. Racial level, yellow. Rank high level extraordinary. Strength level, larva level 10. Racial skills, lightning flash, thunder explosion, electric shock, electric current manipulation, angry thunder roar, thunder spiritization. Introduction. Lightning marten's hair occasionally scatters weak electric current. Lightning martens living in the wild are mostly solitary, small in size, and extremely fast. This kind of beast has a unique hobby. It likes to use electric shock to catch fish in rivers and lakes, so it is often attacked by aquatic beasts. After the battle began, the speed of the lightning marten was so fast that Chen Wei could only carefully check the detailed information of the pet in front of him now. So many electric skills, Chen Wei was amazed. He vaguely remembered that there seemed to be a female classmate who had a lightning marten in their beast taming class too. But her pet was only at the 6th level of the juvenile, and could only use the 2 racial skills of lightning and electric shock. The winner is decided. The referee shook his head, but his expression was still a little dazed and said, His heart was full of shock at this moment. Almost lost, looking at the exhausted Lightning Martin, Keiling proudly made a clear sound, then turned to look at Chen Wei, blinking her big watery eyes, as if showing off her record. What a hardy battle, Ning Yi seemed to be recalling. She licked her rosy lips and murmured in a hoarse voice. Then she trotted forward, picked up the Lightning Martin with frost-covered fur, and took it to the medical room near the battle stage for treatment. Hello. Let me introduce myself again. My name is Ning Yi, and I am a graduate of the 16th Beast Taming class of Shushan No. 1 Middle School. Outside the medical room, Chen Wei was a little at a loss as he looked at the enthusiastic Ning Yi in front of him. Hello, senior. I am Chen Wei, a candidate for the Beast Taming class of Shushan No. 2 Middle School. You are really strong. Especially your frost jade snake, which is a bit outrageous in its cultivation. I didn't expect that there would be a day when I would lose to my junior brother. Ning Yi's cheeks were slightly red, and her crystal eyes stared at Chen Wei intently, her tone full of admiration. Thank you, Chen Wei had to answer politely. There's still a lot of time. When my Xiao recovers, we can have another fight. Ning Yi, who was sitting next to Chen Wei, looked down at the time on her watch and smiled at him excitedly. Her eyes were curved like crescents, and her long eyelashes trembled slightly. Anyone who saw her couldn't help but feel pity. Sure, my cold jade snake also needs a rest. Chen Wei stroked the tired Keiling in his hand and agreed. Junior brother, even if we are just friends, I still want to remind you. Ning Yi looked at the Keiling in Chen Wei's hand, her eyes emitting a light of love, and she hesitated in her words. The larval stage of pets is the process of pets gradually mastering their own awakening abilities. During this process, it is best not to use pills that enhance strength, especially when the pet reaches the 10th level of larval stage. Those who do not plan for eternity are not qualified to plan for the moment. After the Lightning Martin was promoted to the 10th level of larval stage, she polished Dio's foundation for half a year, just for the future accumulation of strength. I know this. Apart from satisfying its daily cultivation resources, it basically does not use drugs to enhance its strength. Chen Wei was stunned when he heard this, and he was a little touched, but he could still feel the other party's sincere intentions. Really? It's incredible. It seems that your cold jade snake is gifted. Ning Yi was skeptical and said with emotion. Seeing this, Chen Wei nodded directly to indicate that he understood, and did not say much. He knew that no matter how many words, it would not be as good as actual actions. As for whether others believe it or not, it is not within Chen Wei's consideration at all. The larval stage is a particularly important stage for pets to lay the foundation. Generally, the higher the race level of a pet, the longer its larval stage. For example, powerful beasts such as phoenixes, dragons, nine-tailed foxes, golden-winged rocks, and gluttons are said to have a larval stage longer than the life of ordinary people for some legendary pets whose race level reaches the legendary emperor. On the contrary, the lower the race level of a pet, the shorter its larval stage and the lower the awakening level. For example, the low-level common scarlet parrots, green non-black turtles and tiger-striped poisonous bees, among which the tiger-striped poisonous bees have the shortest lifespan, and their average strength is only the 5th level of larval life. Most tiger-striped poisonous bees cannot break through to the 1st level in their entire lives. But the average scarlet parrot can break through from the larval stage to the 1st level within 3 months, but it will also become the weakest 1st level. The larval stage of pets is also the best time to learn skills to increase your attack surface, and even some skills that are completely unrelated to your own attributes can be learned in the larval stage. And when the pet reaches the 10th level of larval life, it can more easily perceive and master the changes in its own attributes, which is of great benefit to its future evolution. It is because of knowing the importance of the larval stage of pets that Chen Wei has not used the dragon crystal he has prepared for a long time on Keiling. After all, Keiling's promotion speed is so fast that Chen Wei is surprised. If she breaks through to the 1st level in advance because of the dragon crystal, Chen Wei will probably be heartbroken. Senior sister, why are you here as a sparring partner? Chen Wei changed the subject and asked curiously. Of course it's because of my interest. I really like pet battles. Ning Yi's straightforward voice rang in Chen Wei's ears. And my time as a sparring partner here is short. I will report to Liming College next month. Liming College. Chen Wei looked at Ning Yi in surprise. Chapter 35 Major Institutes and 8 Hospitals. There are many beast-controlling colleges and universities in Donghua, but there are not many that are well known to beastmasters. The most famous of them are the 5 grades and 8 colleges that people talk about with great relish. The so-called 5 grades and 8 colleges refers to the 13 most famous beast-controlling universities in Donghua. They are the universities that every beast controller in Donghua dreams of. The 5 grades are Jinhua University, Zidin University, Lishu University, Chihuan University and Genshin University. The 8 colleges are the general name of Liming College, Chuksa College, Zhuangfang College, Aurora College, Lijiang College, Tenglong College, Zhengayu College and Kaiyanian College. Of course, if you have to compare the comprehensive strength of these famous schools, the authority of the 5 universities far exceeds that of the 8 colleges. According to the National Beast Controlling University rankings published by Donghua in the past, Jinhua University, one of the 5 grades, ranks first all year round, and the school is located in the capital of Donghua. This university is most famous for its forging department. Most of the outstanding senior forgers and high-tech research and technical talents come from this university. The second place is Zidin University, which Chen Wei has always been thinking about. The alchemy department of this university is well known in the country, and it is also the holy land in the minds of all alchemists in the country. As for the third, fourth and fifth places at the bottom of the ranking, the remaining 3 universities are competing with each other. It is precisely because of their fierce competition that the position of the third-ranked university changes every year. And this year, the 6th-ranked beast-controlling university in the country is Kaiyanian College among the 8 colleges. This school is also famous for its alchemy department, but if compared with Zidin University, there is still a big gap. However, among the 8 colleges, Kaiyanian College is the leader and the first-ranked college, and has been trying to become the 6th university in Donghua. Chen Wei's first target university for the beast-controlling college entrance examination next year is Zidin University, and the second target is Kaiyanian College. As far as Chen Wei knows, this year's Liming College's comprehensive ranking is in the middle level among the 8 colleges, ranking 9th in the country, and it is also a well-known university specializing in electrical engineering. Liming College. Ningyi, are you the champion of the beast-controlling assessment in Shushan City this year? Chen Wei suddenly reacted and asked in astonishment. No wonder when the referee Xia Zhe introduced the sparring partner in front of him, he felt that the name Ningyi was very familiar, as if he had heard or seen it somewhere. It was not until she mentioned Liming College that he remembered the hot news that appeared on the Shushan City news channel a while ago. In the remote Shushan City, it is extremely rare for students to be admitted to the 5 majors and 8 colleges. It's just that the interview at that time did not reveal her face. Otherwise, with Ningyi's beauty, figure and strength, Chen Wei estimated that this interview would be a hit on the internet. The top scorer is exaggerated, and you haven't even beaten me, my junior brother. The carefree Ningyi said shyly. It's okay to face other people's praise. After all, being admitted to Liming College, a well-known university, is a great honor, and she can accept it openly. But in Ningyi's view, Chen Wei in front of her is an absolute monster, and the title of Shushan City's top scorer in the college entrance examination has no great value in front of him. After being said by Chen Wei, she was a little uncomfortable. And I wanted to apply for Lishu University, but unfortunately I didn't pass the test at that time. Ningyi's tone was a little regretful. She had longed for Lishu University for a long time, especially because her favorite idol Zhao was studying at this university. Test? Can you tell me in detail about the test of the 5 major universities? Chen Wei asked suddenly. The test news spread on the internet was difficult to distinguish between true and false. He gently stroked K Ling's head with his right hand, looking at Ningyi, with a hint of eager expectation on his seemingly calm face. Ah, do you want to listen? The test of the 5 major universities changes every year. Ningyi suddenly put away the memories in her mind, frowned slightly, bit her rosy lips, and said a little embarrassedly. Yet, I also want to apply for the 5 major universities next year, so I want to learn a little about the difficulty of the test from you. Chen Wei looked at Ningyi's beautiful profile and asked with a smile. Yes, with your strength, you can indeed try those 5 top universities. Ningyi nodded slightly after hearing this. Chen Wei in front of her was indeed very strong. There is still a year before the next college entrance examination. Chen Wei can now defeat her in a one-on-one pet duel. If he has another year of experience, he may really be able to be admitted to the top 5 universities she longs for. I only know the basic test of Lishu University this year. The first requirement is The source star of the Beastmaster must be above the second level. As soon as she started to introduce, Ningyi's pupils shrank suddenly. She opened her red lips slightly, as if she had just reacted at this moment, staring at Chen Wei in shock, her tone full of surprise. If I remember correctly, your summoning array was light blue before the battle just now, and your source star is already at the second level. Hearing Ningyi's surprised voice, Chen Wei looked at Ningyi with a strange look in his eyes. Are you just reacting now? Your reaction arc is a bit too long. Chen Wei smiled and said, yes, maybe it's because my talent for beast control awakened earlier, and I usually meditate and practice diligently. Humph, excessive modesty is pride. If you do this again, I will hit you. Ningyi snorted lightly, with a tone of envy. I thought your cold jade snake was already outrageous, but I didn't expect that your talent for beast control is even more outrageous. She then added, the second requirement is that the purity of the beast control master's source star must be high, at least more than 80%, and you can't use too many pills. When Ningyi said this, her eyes were always paying attention to Chen Wei's expression. She was afraid that Chen Wei's source star would advance and break through by taking risks to use pills, and thus lose such a powerful opponent. Chen Wei nodded in understanding. Beast masters can increase the cultivation speed of source stars by taking pills. But they are limited to source stars above the third level. Because source stars above the third level have purification capabilities, they can appropriately eliminate the adverse consequences brought by pills under the control of beast masters and maintain the purity of their own source stars. If a beast master uses too many pills when his source star is from level 0 to level 2, his source star will become complicated and the purity will decrease, which will increase the difficulty of subsequent source star cultivation. Therefore, beast masters with lofty ambitions will basically not use pills for source star cultivation when their source star is below level 3. That kind of pill is only suitable for beast masters who have mediocre talents and have no hope of breaking through their own source star and are trying to make a last-ditch effort. The third test is the actual combat assessment. Ningyi deliberately emphasized the word assessment and then sighed slowly. Then she looked at Chen Wei with sympathy, as if she felt pity for Chen Wei, who would face a similar test like her next year. What exactly is the actual combat assessment of top universities? Chen Wei, who was halfway through Ningyi's words, seemed to feel her pity. He pursed his lips and continued to ask with interest. Chapter 31 Starlight Gym. The actual combat assessment will change according to the strength of the pet. For example, my Lightning Martin is at the 10th level of the juvenile, and the race level is high level extraordinary. So the first battle is against the first level lower level medium level special pet, the Black Net Buffalo. After defeating this pet, the next battle is against 2 Black Net Buffaloes. You can rest for 10 minutes after each victory, and then the number of opponents will increase in turn, and the difficulty will double. Even with the advantage of attribute restrained, I still fell in the 4th round of the test. Facing the siege of 4 high-level beasts, my initial petling Fanged Thunder Tiger couldn't even defeat one of the beasts. At this point, Ningyi's delicate face showed a hint of regret. Until now, she still feels unwilling to think back to the assessment at the time. Is there really a student who can pass such an outrageous test completely? Chen Wei was also a little surprised after hearing this, and muttered to himself, fighting across levels is fine. After all, a low-level beast master who can't defeat a strong force with a weak one can't be considered a genius. But fighting across levels and adding a round-robin battle at the same time, isn't this a bit outrageous? He frowned slightly, calmed his inner shock, and continued to ask Ningyi, how many rounds of such a test are there? There is no specified number of rounds. I only made it to the 4th round. According to my guess, if you want to get into the top 5, you must at least pass the 4th round of tests. Ningyi showed a bitter smile. She added, according to the invigilator's reminder, there is no upper limit for this battle test. The more rounds you pass, the higher the evaluation the school will give you. When the time comes, you just need to choose the university you like to take the test. No matter which university you take the beast taming test at, your test results will be synchronized to the admissions database of all universities after the test is completed. Unfortunately, with my score in the 3rd round of the test, I could only barely meet the admission standard of Liming College. If it were you, maybe it would really work. There hasn't been a beast tamer in Shushan City who has been admitted to the top 5 for many years. Ningyi's eyes were fixed on him, and there was a hint of expectation in her clear eyes. I will try my best. Chen Wei was slightly stunned, and then he turned his head slightly and looked away. Ning Yi's eager gaze at this time made him a little overwhelmed. Chen Wei was a slow-moving person, and he was really not good at communicating with people like Ning Yi who are not good at socializing. It's very interesting. His passion now is very different from the previous battle. He has two completely different personalities, Ning Yi thought to herself as she saw Chen Wei suddenly become a little reserved. She covered her smiling rosy lips with the back of her hand, as if she felt a little fun. Hello, your pet, the Lightning Martin, has recovered as before, a voice suddenly sounded, interrupting Ning Yi's idea of teasing Chen Wei. The medical staff handed the pet he held in his hands to Ning Yi. Okay, thank you. After taking the Lightning Martin, Ning Yi's cheeks immediately flushed again, and then she excitedly challenged Chen Wei, while there is still some time, let's continue the battle, okay? Chen Wei smiled and responded. The straightforward and sexy female beastmaster in front of him was a rare and excellent opponent. A moment later, the battle between the two sides' pets started again. Although Shushan City is only a small third-level city in Donghua, the beast culture is still prevalent in the streets and alleys of Shushan citizens. Chen Wei walked on the busy streets, and from time to time he could see many beastmasters teasing their pets. After the battle, Ning Yi, who knew that the cold jade snake had the third-level skill of telekinesis, introduced him to a gym that taught pets spiritual meditation. Chen Wei knew that excellent pet meditation methods could deeply develop the potential of spiritual pets, but because he was short of money, he had no intention of buying them in the Beastmaster Mall. After all, low-level meditation methods were extremely inefficient, and his pets didn't need them. The effect was not as good as K Ling's direct training of telekinesis skills. The price of high-level pet meditation methods often starts at tens of millions of star coins, and it is not necessarily available. It is a secret that many beastmasters don't pass on. The overly expensive price and scarcity of high-level meditation methods made Chen Wei give up the idea of teaching K Ling meditation methods. It doesn't matter what you learn. K Ling can also go the ice route, and she doesn't have to go hard against the spiritual system. But when Chen Wei heard that the Starlight Dojo recommended by Ning Yi could teach advanced meditation methods for free, he immediately became interested. Regardless of whether the news was true or false, he had to go to the dojo to take a look. Following the map instructions on the phone, Chen Wei walked through several bustling streets. The Starlight Dojo should be here, why can't I see it? He stood there, his eyes scanning the surrounding buildings, muttering to himself. After Chen Wei continued to walk around slowly in the vicinity, he finally found a slightly shabby dojo. The shape of this dojo is somewhat unique, and the plaque hanging on the gate is a little faded. The two dots above the word light and the four big characters Starlight Dojo on the plaque have disappeared. Chen Wei looked at the dilapidated dojo in the distance with hesitation, then took out his phone to take a photo and send it to Ning Yi. Then he asked, "Is this the Starlight Dojo you mentioned?" Two buzzing sounds rang out. Chen Wei looked down at her QQ reply. "Yes, this is the gym opened by my best friend's family." "Okay," Chen Wei replied to Ning Yi's message, then looked at the plaque of the gym a few more times and walked directly into the gate of the gym. Entering the gym, Chen Wei found that there was only a petite figure with silver hair sitting with her back to him in the wooden hall. As if she heard Chen Wei's footsteps, the girl opened her eyes and ended her meditation, stood up and looked in surprise in the direction of the sound. It has been a long time since her gym had a student visitor. The girl's surprised look happened to meet Chen Wei's curious sight. Chen Wei looked at the silver-haired girl who stood up and turned around not far away, his eyes full of amazement. It was the first time he saw such a beautiful girl who seemed to have walked out of a comic in real life. The girl in front of him was about 28 years old, with a head of scattered silver hair falling vertically to her slender waist like a waterfall. Under the eye-catching silver hair was her delicate and moving face. Long eyebrows, clear and bright pupils, tender and rosy lips, and the delicate white skin set off her icy figure. She was wearing a white, loose long-sleeved shirt. Although she was a little petite, she had an elegant and cold temperament. "Hello, who are you?" A cold and gentle voice suddenly sounded in Chen Wei's ears, and the girl asked in confusion. Chapter 32, Strange Stone. "I'm a student introduced by Ning Yi." Did she tell you?" The girl's question made Chen Wei slightly startled. Did Ning Yi say that she had already greeted her bestie? Ah, that's it. A blush welled up on the girl's face. "Sit here and wait for a while. I have some things to deal with first." Chen Wei, okay. Gu Yuyi has a habit of not putting her phone beside her when meditating. She walked into the room on the right side of the hall and found her phone that was charging. As expected, her phone screen was showing several messages from her bestie. Zia Aoi, I recommended another very capable student to you. Remember to treat me to dinner tomorrow. After reading the message Ning Yi sent her, Gu Yue smiled helplessly. There are not so many beast-taming geniuses in this small Shushan city. Even geniuses from the capital. In the hall of the gym. Sorry, I didn't check my phone just now. Are you here to learn meditation? Gu Yue said with a smile. Yes, I heard from Ning Yi that you teach advanced meditation methods for pets, and it's free. Chen Wei nodded, and when he said the word free, his tone was still a little doubtful. Xiaoyu always likes to talk nonsense. Gu Yue's cold face showed a faint smile. Let me introduce myself first. My name is Gu Yue, and I'm the owner of the Starlight Gym. Without waiting for Chen Wei to respond, she continued, the advanced meditation method that Ning Yi mentioned is actually problematic. To be precise, it should be an incomplete meditation method, but its efficiency in increasing pet meditation can be compared with the advanced meditation method. Chen Wei was shocked when he heard this. If the incomplete meditation method can be compared with the advanced meditation method, then the complete version is even more powerful. As if she had noticed Chen Wei's inner thoughts, Gu Yue said lightly, I also thought this meditation method was very powerful at the beginning, but in fact, this meditation method has a very serious disadvantage. What disadvantage? Chen Wei was a little curious. It can only be comprehended by the pet itself, and the meditation method comprehended by each pet is different, and the improved meditation efficiency is also different. The only thing that remains unchanged is that the meditation method comprehended by the pet is incomplete. After saying these words, Gu Yue glanced at Chen Wei, who was surprised. Don't you think it's amazing? But in fact, most pets, including my spiritual pet, can only comprehend low-level meditation methods from it, and they are still incomplete. Do you still want to try such a meditation method? I want to try it. Chen Wei nodded immediately after hearing this. He must try it. He felt that this meditation method was an incredible secret book just by listening to the introduction. There was no surprise on Gu Yue's cold face. She once thought that her pet was the only exception, but reality gave her a heavy blow. Summon your pet first. The understanding of this meditation method requires a certain amount of mental power from the pet. Chen Wei did not say much, and directly summoned the resting K-Link from the star ring. Second level Source Star? Cold Jade Snake. Gu Yue looked at the cold jade snake that appeared in Chen Wei's arms, and a hint of surprise flashed in her eyes. As expected, she still couldn't have too much expectation for the genius introduced by Ning Yi. She shook her head secretly in her heart. Shushan City was still too small after all. Remember to comfort its mood. It may be a little excited when I use mental power to perceive. After being disappointed, Gu Yue said to Chen Wei. Okay. Chen Wei felt a faint fragrance suddenly coming from the front of him. While he stroked K-Ling's body with his hand, he used his mind to comfort K-Ling, who seemed restless in his arms. The cold jade snake of the ice and spiritual system can also use telekinesis. The mental power has reached the standard. After a careful inspection, Gu Yue said with satisfaction. Then can K-Ling learn meditation? Chen Wei was delighted when he heard this, and then asked softly. Of course, but there is one thing I want to make clear in advance. Free learning is conditional, Gu Yue suddenly said, looking up and glancing at Chen Wei beside him. Chen Wei nodded slightly, and a trace of relief flashed in his eyes. Sure enough, there is no free lunch in this world. But it's good this way. He really doesn't dare to let K-Ling practice the high-level meditation method that he got for no reason. I have only one condition. After your pet has completed the comprehension, you must record the meditation method it has realized as soon as possible and then give it to me. Gu Yue looked directly at Chen Wei, and her tone was somewhat relaxed. Okay, this is a matter of course, Chen Wei agreed directly. He didn't expect Gu Yue's conditions to be so simple. Seeing Chen Wei readily agreed, a faint smile appeared on Gu Yue's delicate cheeks. If the number of low-level meditation methods could be more, maybe she could unlock the secrets hidden in the Star Stone in the future. Gu Yue brought Chen Wei to the backyard of the gym. The first thing that caught Chen Wei's eyes was the ground paved with multiple blue bricks and a strange-shaped boulder in the center of the courtyard. Let your cold jade snake use telekinesis to touch the Star Stone, and you will be able to comprehend your own meditation method, Gu Yue said directly, without any concealment in her tone. Is it a meditation method of inheritance? Looking at the strange boulder in front of him, Chen Wei nodded nervously. Concentrate your mind and use telekinesis to perceive the stone. Pointing to the strange stone in the distance, Chen Wei conveyed his thoughts to Keiling. Yeah, no problem. Keiling's eyes and the ice crystals on her head immediately showed blue and white light, and then she carefully controlled her telekinesis to touch the stone that had been emitting a strange attraction. At the moment when the telekinesis and the stone just came into contact, a white light suddenly burst out from the star stone in front of her. Seeing this, Chen Wei quickly blocked the dazzling light with his hands, and then felt Keiling's mental state through the contract. The next second, the light disappeared. Yeah, there are so many things in my mind. Feeling the surprise transmitted by Keiling through the contract, Chen Wei's spirit was also suddenly lifted. This meditation method is so simple to understand. Okay, remember to let the pet record the meditation method you have comprehended later. After reminding Chen Wei with a smile on his face, Guyu Wei took out a piece of paper and a pen from the star ring and handed it to him. Guyu Wei has seen this kind of scene of accepting inheritance many times, so it is nothing strange. Okay, after taking the paper and pen from Guyu Wei, Chen Wei hugged Keiling, who was still a little dizzy, in his arms. Keiling, write down the meditation method you just realized later. Yeah, okay. Chapter 33 7 Desires Meditation. Chen Wei sat on a stone pier in the courtyard, spread a snow-white paper flat on the marble table, and then signaled Keiling to start reciting the meditation method. The pencil kept writing and moving under the control of Keiling's telekinesis, and the surface of the white paper on the table gradually appeared one by one, dazzling runes. Ah, there's more. A few minutes later, Keiling, who had filled the paper with writing, raised her head and made a crisp cry. Chen Wei turned his head to look at the cold and gentle gym owner beside him, and said politely, "Excuse me, do you have any more white paper? One piece doesn't seem to be enough." "It's okay, I have a lot here." Guyu Wei frowned slightly, feeling a little suspicious, and then quietly took out a stack of white paper from the star ring and placed it on the marble table. This cold jade snake seems to have a good talent. I thought it could only comprehend a little bit of low-level meditation. It seems that the Beastmaster recommended by Xiaoyi is still quite capable. Keiling looked at the pile of white paper on the table, and her eyes suddenly lit up. She really likes the fun of writing. Chen Wei nodded silently. It seemed that Keiling in front of him had the potential to become an intellectual. She loved writing so much. Half an hour passed. Keiling has already memorized the meditation method. Do you need to check it? Chen Wei arranged the papers written by Keiling in order and handed them to Guyu Wei, who was a little absent-minded. Ah. Okay, as long as the spiritual pet can practice it, it means that the meditation method is fine. Guyu Wei, who was in a daze, reacted immediately and took the stack of secret books in her hand. A hint of envy seemed to appear on her cold face. Even her spiritual pet could only comprehend a little bit of the meditation method. She didn't expect that the cold jade snake in front of her with a different body shape could comprehend so much. Although the content of the comprehension does not mean that the quality of the meditation method is high, it is also a pleasant surprise for her. It's okay. You only need to practice the meditation method for a few days. You can know the quality of the meditation method by improving the efficiency of the pet's spiritual power, Guyu Wei said lightly. As she spoke, her eyes never left the secret book that Keiling had just written in her hand. Thank you for your help. If there is nothing else, you can leave, Guyu Wei said softly. Her peripheral vision seemed to detect the joy on Chen Wei's cheeks, and she chose to order him to leave. No, I am very grateful that you can give me such a chance. Chen Wei hurriedly opened his mouth to thank him. Looking at Chen Wei's disappearing figure, Guyu Wei stood there in silence for a moment, and then murmured in confusion, "Uncle Li, what do you think of Chen Wei's beast aptitude?" After a while, an old voice came from the breeze. "Maybe he is a true genius in Shushan City, but compared with you, Yu Wei, he is still a lot worse." "Really?" "Maybe." A cold and gentle voice sounded in the empty courtyard. When Chen Wei returned to the apartment, it was already evening. "Tonight you can try the effect of the meditation method you learned in the afternoon," Chen Wei, who was busy in the kitchen, conveyed it with his mind. "Yaa, try it now." Keiling did it right away, as if she had gotten some new toys, and started today's meditation practice with great interest. She closed her eyes slightly, relaxed her body and mind, and felt the runes rolling and jumping in her mind, and her consciousness also wandered. After a while, her consciousness gradually settled down, as if she was surrounded by a strange heat flow. As her soul absorbed the surging heat bit by bit, her soul felt a faint sense of warmth and comfort. Her mental strength seemed to be increasing slowly. During the meditation practice, Kayling felt that her thinking became clearer, and even the strength of her own mental power was greatly improved. After the meditation ended, she opened her eyes, and the first thing Kayling saw was her useless Beastmaster. "How is it? How effective is this meditation method?" Chen Wei asked cheerfully. Great." Chen Wei looked at Kayling in front of him and excitedly jumped on him, and rubbed his cheek with her little head happily. "It's good that you think it's great. Remember to practice more every night in the future." Chen Wei patted Kayling's head proudly and said with a smile. "By the way, what is this meditation method called?" After being happy, Chen Wei asked curiously. "Yeah, I don't know." Kayling tilted her head in confusion, obviously not knowing what to say. Chen Wei simply took out his mobile phone and continued to ask, "Didn't you learn Donghu characters today? Can you translate it?" "Yeah. Yia, Kitan?" "Kitan," Kayling shouted uncertainly. Obviously, the translation of the name of the meditation method is very difficult for her, a little snake who has just learned to read. "Kitan," Chen Wei frowned and whispered. He didn't understand why the meditation method used for pet cultivation had such a name. It seemed a bit irrelevant. Shaking his head, Chen Wei didn't think much about it. Kitan was Kitan. After all, it was a meditation method that was obtained for free. As long as Kayling was a little careful when practicing, there would be no other hidden dangers in the method. "Kayling, you performed very well today. I will strengthen you later. Keep up the good work." Hearing the word strengthen, Kayling stood up excitedly. For her, even the enjoyment brought by practicing meditation is not as good as Chen Wei's strengthening. Chen Wei habitually held the lovely Kayling in his arms and began his nightly strengthening homework. "If I don't hold Kayling more now, I may not have a chance in the future." Looking at the growing size of Kayling in front of him, Chen Wei thought to himself. "You know, the growth rate of the general cold jade snake is not as fast as the Kayling in front of him." As far as Chen Wei knows, the body length of the cold jade snake in its larval stage is generally within 1 meter. Most of the cold jade snakes that can break through the 1 meter body limit have been promoted to the first level. And the body of the cold jade snake that has reached full adulthood and has been promoted to the third level will surge to about 10 meters. According to Kayling's current development trend, it is easy to think that her body will be even larger in the future, and her body may reach dozens of meters long. Thinking of this, Chen Wei couldn't help but feel his eyes go dark, and he took a breath of cold air. The contracted pet beast grows larger, and the consumption of the pet beast and the Beastmaster will increase a lot. And the resources that the pet beast needs to eat will also increase greatly. Chen Wei even suspected that at his current speed of making money, he might not be able to catch up with the resource consumption that Kayling needs in the future. Money, money, money. It's not talent that stops me from becoming stronger, but those vulgar star coins. Chen Wei sighed in his heart. There must be a way out when the car reaches the mountain. Let's talk about the future later. After thinking about it, Chen Wei still shook his head helplessly, with a bitter smile at the corner of his mouth. Chapter 34 Alchemy Manual. After Kayling learned the 7 Greed meditation method, Chen Wei and Kayling began a monotonous practice life. Every day, they either meditated together in the apartment or went to the training ground of the Beastmaster Association to practice skills. On the first day, Kayling's telekinesis skills advanced from the entry level to the proficient level. This made Chen Wei a little surprised. Sure enough, the meditation method is expensive for a reason. Since Kayling had this incomplete meditation method, the speed of meditation and mental power has increased by 10% or 20%, and even the practice of mental skills has progressed rapidly. This low-level meditation method with good results made Chen Wei call it a treasure. The next day, Chen Wei and Kayling tried to learn the 3rd level ice skill, Ice Tornado, at the Ice and Snow training ground. Unfortunately, Kayling still failed to successfully master the method of releasing the ice tornado shown in Chen Wei's mobile phone video. Chen Wei's idea failed as a matter of course. It seems that Kayling's talent also has a limit. Looking at Kayling with a confused face, Chen Wei sighed in his heart at that time. It was a pity. If Kayling could learn skills through videos, he could save a lot of money on learning skills. As a result, when the day passed, Kayling did not learn the expected ice tornado. Instead, she accidentally learned another 2nd level ice skill, Polar Ice. Polar ice is a field covering skill that can create a large area of snow with less physical energy consumption, thus creating a nice environment that pets are good at. Basically, every ice pet with a race level of high level extraordinary or above can learn this skill, but Chen Wei did not expect K-Ling to learn this iconic skill in her larval stage. Because of this unexpected surprise, Chen Wei directly downloaded dozens of teaching videos of ice skills on his mobile phone that night. He planned to show K-Ling a video when he had nothing to do during training in the future. Maybe K-Ling could learn a few more ice skills. As for the spiritual skills, Chen Wei could not find them. There were no teaching videos for that thing on the internet. On the third day, Chen Wei, who had tasted the sweetness, continued to go to the Beastmaster Association with K-Ling to learn skills. Unfortunately, Chen Wei showed K-Ling dozens of videos teaching ice skills that day, but she didn't learn a new ice skill. On the contrary, K-Ling's ice spikes and ice hiding skills reached the mastery level. Chen Wei could only sigh helplessly. He found out that K-Ling's learning new skills depended on fate, just as outrageous as his teaching relied on videos. But Chen Wei had no choice. If he really wanted to go to the ice gym to learn skills, one skill would cost at least tens of thousands of star coins, and even hundreds of thousands of star coins. He couldn't afford it with only a balance of hundreds of thousands of star coins in his savings, and he still had K-Ling's loan to repay. On the fourth day, Chen Wei ran out of vitality powder, so he went to Danding Pharmacy to buy a few more packs of vitality powder. But this time he didn't see the old doctor, and then he and K-Ling stayed in the apartment to meditate and practice. That night, when Chen Wei was busy strengthening K-Ling, his mobile phone buzzed. After strengthening, Chen Wei opened his mobile phone and saw the message, and couldn't help but smile. Guyun, tomorrow the mall will have 4 titanium crystal dolls that need to be identified. Do you have time to identify them? Of course I have time. Can you trouble Sister Guyun to help me keep an eye out for the dolls that need to be identified in the mall? Chen Wei replied tentatively. A penny can make a hero fall, and he didn't want to be like this. On the other side, Guyun looked at the message sent by Chen Wei, and a trace of strangeness appeared on her innocent face. She didn't expect Chen Wei to be so short of money. In this case, why didn't he accept Mr. Liu's recruitment? If it were her, she would have hugged the lady's fragrant thighs tightly, and even a slight shake for a second would be disrespectful to her admiration for the lady. Guyun's fingers moved slightly, and then replied, "Don't worry, I'll keep them all for you." After looking at the word thank you from the phone a moment later, Guyun frowned slightly. If she hadn't noticed the lady's strange attention to Chen Wei, she wouldn't have treated Chen Wei so politely. The next morning, the bright sunshine shone through the window, filling the entire office with a warm atmosphere. At this time, Chen Wei's left hand was playing with a sleepy titanium crystal puppet's paw, and his right hand was pulling the ear of another titanium crystal puppet with a not very happy expression. This time, in order to prevent K-Ling from being jealous, Chen Wei put her into the star ring early. Chen Wei felt very comfortable with the 4 titanium crystal puppets in his arms. It's a pity that there is still no titanium gold puppet with outstanding potential. After stroking the puppet cat, Chen Wei shrugged helplessly, as if he felt a little sorry. Thump, thump, thump. The crisp footsteps of high heels suddenly sounded in the office. Chen Wei listened to the familiar voice and looked up. Sure enough, his future master Liu Menging and her secretary were walking towards him. Liu Menging was wearing a slim black suit, highlighting her exquisite figure. She walked slowly to Chen Wei and sat down. How are you preparing? There are less than 3 months left for the Puppet Cup. Liu Menging's cold and charming voice sounded in Chen Wei's ears. Chen Wei seemed to smell a faint fragrance coming from the front, and he didn't know whether it was body fragrance or perfume. He smiled and whispered, "Who else can be the champion of the Puppet Cup but me?" As if she felt Chen Wei's confidence in front of her, Liu Menging was a little absent-minded. She would not laugh at a teenager with a clear goal, but she just felt a little pity. "What do you plan to learn by becoming my disciple?" she then asked curiously. "I want to be an alchemist." Chen Wei looked at Liu Menging with eager eyes, with unquestionable certainty in his eyes. "Really?" Liu Menging murmured in an almost inaudible voice. Then her delicate face was more smiling. "This is my Alchemist Basic Knowledge Manual, which is full of my insights and pale recipes for primary alchemists." The gorgeous star ring in Liu Menging's hand flashed a glimmer, and a brand new alchemy notebook appeared in her hand. Chen Wei's eyes suddenly lit up slightly, and his eyes followed the notebook shaking in Liu Menging's hands. As if feeling a little bored, Liu Menging threw the notebook to Chen Wei, and her sexy and seductive voice sounded instantly. I'll give this to you. If you can win the championship of the Muppet Cup, I can save some effort. Thank you, Master. Chen Wei hurriedly caught a notebook with both hands, and then climbed up the pole, directly changing Sister Menging to Master. Liu Menging frowned when she heard it. She was a little uncomfortable and threw out a sentence coldly. Don't mention the word Master. You can call me like this when you win the championship. At this time, Guyun, the little secretary who had been ignored for a long time beside Liu Menging, also frowned, and wanted to scold the shameless boy in front of her. But in the end, she still loosened her fists tightly in her sleeves weakly, and her heart felt like she had eaten a few pounds of lemons, so sour. It seems that my body has won the bid in the past 2 days, but as long as it doesn't continue to deteriorate, I will strive to update. Finally, I would like to ask all readers to read on. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelis. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 35, Fire Pet. Chen Wei looked up at Guyun behind Liu Menging in surprise. Just now, Chen Wei seemed to feel full of malice from her. Not far away, the pure and beautiful Guyun still looked normal, and she even looked at Chen Wei curiously. There was a trace of doubt in her clear eyes, as if she didn't know why he was staring at her suddenly when he was chatting with Mr. Liu. It's my illusion, Chen Wei thought to himself, burying this confusion silently in his heart, and he was more vigilant in his heart. Which aspect of your Yuanxing meditation practice do you choose to strengthen? Liu Menging raised his eyebrows and interrupted Chen Wei's thinking. Strengthening mental power, Chen Wei said frankly. Yes, it seems that you also know that if you want to become an alchemist, the practice of mental power is the top priority. Chen Wei's pupils shrank slightly after hearing this. He didn't know that there was such a threshold to become an alchemist, but fortunately he had passed it by accident before. Do you think this is enough? Becoming an alchemist is not such a simple thing. Liu Menging seemed to notice the relief on Chen Wei's face, and her sexy and seductive voice continued to ring in Chen Wei's ears. As an alchemist, the most important thing is to have your own source fire. Whether this fire is awakened through your own innate talent or obtained from your own contracted fire pet, only in this way can you be considered a qualified alchemist. Looking at Chen Wei's increasingly stiff face again, Liu Menging said with interest, of course, you can also choose the crystal fire furnace made by Universal Technology, but that thing can only refine pills below the 3rd level, and the fire source crystals required every day are also a considerable expense. So for you, the second pet contract titanium crystal puppet is your most cost-effective choice to become an alchemist. As long as it evolves into a fire pet, it can save you a lot of effort. Sister Muning, did you also choose to use the titanium crystal puppet as your own medicine refining pet? Chen Wei seemed to think of something, and he asked softly. He then rubbed the chubby paws of the ragdoll cat in his arms. Chen Wei found that the actions of the beautiful CEO in front of him were basically to sell him a pet like the titanium crystal ragdoll. Of course, the pet I use to refine pills is the Radiant King level ragdoll, Liu Menging replied with a hint of meaning. She didn't believe that Chen Wei in front of her could resist the temptation of a king level pet. The alchemist manual I just gave you is full of my understanding of the production of most pills below the 1st level. These non-grade pills can be refined even with ordinary flames. If you are really interested in the path of alchemy, you can go back and try it today to test your talent for alchemy. Okay, Sister Muring? Chen Wei glanced at the secretary Guyun beside him casually, and said lightly. Okay, I still have some things to deal with in my lab, so I won't disturb your warm interaction with the cats. Liu Menging's cold face suddenly showed a gentle smile, and then she left directly to the other side of the office. Walking in the clean and tidy corridor, Liu Menging suddenly stopped and threw out a sentence. Xiaoyan, what do you think is the most important thing for a secretary? Guyun was stunned when she heard it, and hesitantly said, it should be serious, careful, responsible, loyal, low-key, friendly, good at communication and efficient organizational skills. These may be all, but the most important thing is that as my assistant, you have to know how to hide your emotions, understand? Liu Menging's tone was a little solemn. Yes, I won't do this next time, Guyun said with a flushed face. It's good to know, you don't want your third uncle to know about your work ability. Liu Menging's brows gradually relaxed, and then he reminded Gu Yun lightly. Gu Yun bit her rosy lips upon hearing this, and a trace of determination suddenly flashed between her pupils. She boldly whispered, "Boss Liu, can I know why you have always believed in that boy so much?" Liu Mengeng's exquisite body suddenly stopped. She looked down at her tender hands, and her charming and enchanting cheeks became a little firm. "I never trust anyone, no matter who it is. The only person I trust is myself." Her short words revealed a hint of unquestionable meaning. "Thank you, Boss Liu." Gu Yun suddenly saluted Liu Mengeng in front of her, and her pure face was full of guilt. Chen Wei skillfully completed the appraisal report of the 4 cute titanium crystal puppets in his arms, and then sent the electronic appraisal results to Gu Yun. Chen Wei, who had finished his work, was lying on a comfortable sofa at this time, and his eyes were fixed on the alchemist record manual in his hand. Suddenly, a fleshy cat paw slapped Chen Wei's head. This sudden touch startled Chen Wei. He frowned and looked at the cute ragdoll cat in front of him. To be honest, Chen Wei naturally wanted to contract a second pet as soon as possible. But after communicating with Liu Mengeng just now, he changed his mind. Now he needs to contract a titanium crystal ragdoll with a fire attribute source of physical strength. It's just a pity for Chen Wei that it seems that the titanium crystal cat identified on the day of the interview is already a rare existence. He was silent for a moment, then shook his head and laughed bitterly. Now it is more suitable for him to use the alchemist manual in his hand. Chen Wei opened the notebook in his hand and studied it carefully. This manual describes that each kind of elixir needs to be purified and extracted with flames, and then the powder essence of different medicinal materials is fused. Chen Wei quickly flipped through the pages in his hand. He wanted to find some medicinal powder that could restore the physical strength of the Beastmaster. Of course, if there is a pill that can restore the spirit of the pet, he doesn't mind trying it. After looking it up, he folded the paper in the book that recorded the vitality powder and the rejuvenation powder. Chen Wei has been taking vitality powder as a tonic recently. Although he felt that the powder tasted a bit bitter and was difficult to swallow, it must be said that the medicine was very effective. As for the rejuvenation powder, it can slightly restore the spirit of the primary Beastmaster. Remembering all the medicinal materials recorded in the notes above, Chen Wei decided to try to refine these 2 non-level medicinal powders tonight. Chen Wei slowly exhaled a heavy breath from his mouth, his fingers tightly holding the brand new medicine refining manual. In the future, he will become the best among the Beastmasters in refining medicine. Chapter 36 Refining Success. Do it yourself to have enough food and clothing. After all, his dragon controlling talent requires a lot of supplements. Even exaggerating a little, it can be said that it is indispensable for every meal. It is okay to buy only 1 or 2 doses of medicine powder, but it is a bit unrealistic for Chen Wei to go to the pharmacy to buy so many of them in bulk. When Chen Wei thought of the strange and regretful look of the medicine lady when he bought several large bags of vitality powder at the pharmacy last time, he felt a little toothache. His body is very good, a tough guy. Thinking of this, Chen Wei hurriedly bought 10 doses of vitality powder and recovery powder on the Beast Control Mall app on his mobile phone, and then bought a casserole for making medicine. As for why he chose to use a casserole instead of a medicine furnace to make medicine, Chen Wei could only say that this casserole medicine was the cheapest and fastest prop he could find. After all, Chen Wei could not afford the small alchemy furnace often used by apprentice alchemists. In just a few minutes, his account balance instantly lost more than 10,000 star coins. Fortunately, the cost of buying medicinal materials was not too much. Compared with the 3,000 star coins of vitality powder in Danding Pharmacy, he only needed to spend more than 300 star coins to buy the medicinal materials needed to refine vitality powder. When Chen Wei thought of the 10-to-1 price difference between the two, he felt a little distressed about the extra cost of buying vitality powder. That afternoon, Chen Wei returned to the apartment and took the express delivery filled with bags of medicinal materials. Arriving in the kitchen, Chen Wei first carefully washed the casserole in his hand. After soaking the casserole and cleaning it, he directly added a lot of clean water to the pot and started to heat the pot. Looking at all the medicinal materials that had been sorted and packaged in front of him, Chen Wei began to carefully check each package, and then identified the names and medicinal properties of these herbs. Chen Wei scratched his head, pondered for a moment, and decided to start refining with the simplest vitality powder in front of him. He first dried most of the medicinal materials in his hand. For example, herbs such as agave, thousand-leaf grass, synopsis and purple fruit. Then he used the medicinal material grinder to crush the dried herbs separately and grind them into fine powder of particle size. Looking at the dozens of piles of medicinal powders neatly arranged in front of him, Chen Wei's eyes flashed with helplessness. Some alchemists' process of making elixirs is not as troublesome as his. They only need to put the medicinal materials directly into the alchemy furnace, and then purify them through high temperature of fierce fire, and extract the essence of the medicine in just a few seconds. In the case of refining in the kitchen like him and the flame temperature is not high enough, he can only use the stupid method of drying and grinding. The medicinal materials processed in this way will inevitably lose some trace medicinal properties. But fortunately, this will only slightly reduce the efficacy of the vitality powder produced, and will not affect the success rate. The preparation of the medicinal materials has been done. Before officially starting to refine, Chen Wei looked at the notebook in his hand again with concern. Although the refining process recorded on it is very detailed, and even the points that need to be paid attention to in each medicine are emphasized, he is still a little nervous. Slowly exhaling a breath of turbid air, Chen Wei first increased the firepower of the furnace to the maximum. When he felt that the temperature in the casserole was about the same, he quickly poured a bowl of jade dew water into it. Watching the jade dew water gradually boil in the casserole, he added agave powder to it. Suddenly, a faint medicinal fragrance gradually drifted in the kitchen. Chen Wei was concentrating on the light gray liquid medicine that was constantly reacting violently in front of him. Chen Wei didn't want his first attempt to fail because of carelessness. Watching the color of the liquid medicine in front of him gradually deepen, Chen Wei then put the powder of SYNOPSIS palazzola and purple fruit into the casserole, and then kept stirring it. The fusion of drugs is not an easy task, and he needs to use a thin jade stick to stir it all the time. A few minutes later, Chen Wei, who was sweating a little from the heat, poured all the other medicinal powders he had prepared into the casserole. After watching the color of the liquid medicine in front of him turn from gray to black and gradually precipitate crystalline substances, Chen Wei quickly picked up the jade dew water on the table. Squeak! After pouring in the jade dew water, bursts of white smoke suddenly rose from the casserole, and then Chen Wei added some secondary fire source crystal powder into it. The liquid in the casserole gradually turned red, and a faint red light appeared on their surface. The main purpose of Chen Wei adding these source crystal powders was to increase the temperature in the casserole and better mix and condense these medicines together. Finally, Chen Wei directly covered the casserole lid. He had meticulously completed the steps required for refining medicine, according to the method described in the notebook. Next, he just needed to wait quietly for 15 minutes. Lifting the lid of the pot, looking at the medicine powder with a light yellow soft light on the surface of the casserole, Chen Wei showed a satisfied smile on his face. Looking at this color and luster, his first medicine refining should be considered a complete success. He picked up a spoon and scooped up a little powder from the casserole, first lowered his head and sniffed it lightly, and then put it in his mouth to taste it carefully. But Chen Wei's pupils suddenly shrank, and he hurriedly spit out the bitter powder in his mouth. His brows knitted tightly, feeling the heat rising slowly in his body. He usually drinks a lot of vitality powder, and he can barely swallow it. Why is the vitality powder he made today so bitter? After thinking for a long time without being able to come up with an answer, Chen Wei shook his head helplessly, and just saw Kai Ling, who was looking at him with curious eyes not far away, and a smirk immediately appeared on his face. He thought secretly in his heart, Kai Ling probably came here from behind because of the smell of medicine, and she should not have seen the scene of me retching with a bitter face. Maybe this will just dispel her interest in vitality powder. I just refined the vitality powder, do you want to try the taste? Chen Wei said with a smile. Yee, I want. Kai Ling's eyes lit up when she heard it. The Beastmaster in front of her had to drink a large bottle of vitality powder every night, and she had been curious about the taste of this thing for a long time. But every time she wanted to try it, she was rejected by Chen Wei, who kept telling her that the potion was not delicious and suggested not to eat it. As soon as she smelled the strange fragrance, she knew it tasted good. Besides, if it was something that didn't taste good, why would her own Beastmaster love it so much and never stay away from it? She had lived with a cold jade snake for more than a month. Did he really think she was as easily fooled as a 3-year-old human child? It's just that she was smart and didn't want to expose it. Looking at Kai Ling, who couldn't wait, Chen Wei handed the spoon with medicine powder to her mouth, and his eyes were always curious. Kai Ling stretched out her mouth and sniffed. Yes, it was this familiar strange fragrance. She has been thinking about this thing for a long time, and today she can finally find out. By the way, I would like to ask for your recommendation votes. Chapter 37 Strange Medicinal Powder. As if sensing the strange mood swings of her own Beastmaster, Kayling looked at Chen Wei with doubtful eyes. What? Haven't you always wanted to try the taste of this medicine powder? If you don't want to taste it now, forget it. After Chen Wei finished speaking, he pretended to take back the spoon in his hand. A Greek letter omega? No, I want to eat. Kayling immediately refused to do it and made a few crisp cries. She didn't say she didn't want to eat. So, under Chen Wei's expectant eyes, Kayling slowly stretched out her snake tongue, and then gently licked the vitality powder on the spoon. Seeing this, Chen Wei stared at Kayling, whose expression did not change at all. He wanted to know what Kayling thought of his craftsmanship after tasting it. How is it? How does it taste? Looking at Kayling in front of him, who squinted her eyes and seemed to be suspended in time, Chen Wei asked in surprise. At the same time, he couldn't help but feel a sense of foreboding in his heart. No way? After taking just a little bit of powder, could she faint? Chen Wei subconsciously sensed Kayling's condition through the beast taming contract, and found that her mental state was surprisingly good. Yeah, it's just so, not as delicious as I imagined, but not bad either. Kayling opened her big watery eyes, then tilted her cute head, as if she was still savoring the strange feeling just now, and shouted softly with some uncertainty. Not bad. Chen Wei looked at Kayling's mouth in surprise. He couldn't believe that such a bitter thing tasted good to Kayling. He ignored the surprised expression of his beast tamer. After satisfying her curiosity that had been strong for a long time, Kayling, who felt bored, turned around and returned to the sofa where she often practiced meditation. It seems that she judged others by her own standards. Chen Wei didn't lie. This thing is indeed not delicious, Kayling thought thoughtfully while lying on the sofa. At this time, Chen Wei, who was trying to find out Kayling's true thoughts through the contract, frowned. Where did his pet learn these words from? He remembered that he had only shown Kayling the teaching video of Donghua Basic Language Enlightenment. It has only been a few days, but how come she can even use the illusions of Blue Star? You are a cold jade snake with ice and spirit system. Do you want to wear glasses and become a language doctor in the pet world? Chen Wei complained in a low voice, but he was a little happy in his heart. Kayling is really worthy of being his initial pet. Her learning talent is directly maxed out. Chen Wei, who came back to his senses, looked at the little bit of medicine powder left on the spoon, and a trace of hesitation flashed in his eyes. It shouldn't be. If he usually cooks more food, Kayling will occasionally help to finish it together. He thinks the grilled fish tastes good, and Kayling also likes it very much. Logically, his taste should be similar to Kayling's. Could it be that the vitality powder just out of the oven has a unique taste? Maybe after it cools down, the taste will get better. Thinking of this, Chen Wei closed his eyes, gritted his teeth, and licked the powder on the spoon again. Ahem. Suddenly, Chen Wei's violent coughing sounded in the kitchen. He was really speechless. How could there be such a disgusting potion in the world? What's more outrageous is that such a potion was made by himself. It was completely torturing himself. It's not an exaggeration to say that he deserved it. Chen Wei, who was struggling in his heart, felt numb when he thought that the vitality powder in front of him would be his rations for the next month. After a while, Chen Wei, who had already rinsed his mouth and sorted it out, looked at the large amount of vitality powder in the casserole in front of him, and his face was embarrassed. In his previous life, he had eaten a lot of strange foods. Even canned herring and Icelandic shark jerky, which were particularly unpalatable in other people's mouths. Chen Wei had tried them because of his strong curiosity. How to say it, compared with drinking the vitality powder in front of him, he would rather choose to eat the two dark dishes above. Chen Wei silently wrapped the vitality powder in the casserole with paper, and then shook his head with a wry smile. He didn't understand why the medicine powder was so bitter when all the processes were done well. This taste was completely different from the vitality powder he bought in the pharmacy, and it could even be said to be a world of difference. Chen Wei stood there in silence for a moment, then walked to the bedroom, picked up his phone, and sent a message to Liu Muning. Sister Muning, this is the first time I made vitality powder. It tastes very bitter. Is it because I didn't handle some of the production processes well? Below this text was a picture of the medicine he had just taken. To be honest, Chen Wei could ask many people about the difficult problems of medicine refining, But the authoritative person he trusted most was Liu Muning, whom he had just met not long ago. He also met a lot of friends online when he was learning the knowledge of alchemists. In order to solve some problems in medicine refining, Chen Wei and those alchemist friends joined a common group chat, Dongho Alchemy Association. This Dongho Alchemy Association is full of crouching tigers and hidden dragons. Chen Wei looked at their nicknames and knew that any one of them was an intermediate alchemist. It is said that the administrator and group owner in the group is even a respected senior alchemist. It should be said that if a real powerful alchemist boss is in the group chat, he will not be a spammer every day. Every day when Chen Wei wakes up, he will see that the group chat messages on his phone are 999 plus, and he will know what group he has entered. In other words, the talents in the Dongho Alchemy Association occasionally talk about some refreshing and effective alchemy knowledge that Chen Wei finds refreshing, otherwise he would have quit this strange group chat long ago. As for holding the vitality that he just refined in his hand to ask these big men who always talk about high-level pills, he thought about it and chose to give up, because he probably wouldn't get any serious answers. 10 minutes later, Chen Wei's phone vibrated, and it was Liu Menging's reply. Just looking at the color of the picture, there is no problem. Vitality powder is usually only accompanied by a slight bitter taste. How is the specific effect after you try it? The effect is much better than the one I bought in the pharmacy, but its taste is abnormally bitter. Very good, no need to change it. If you think it is too bitter, you can add some rock sugar or honey when you take it, so that it will not affect its effect. Okay, thank you Sister Muning. After politely ending the topic. Looking at the medicine bag placed not far away, Chen Wei frowned and shook his head helplessly. Come on, you have to face it. Waste is a very bad habit. After completing the routine strengthening homework every night, the tired Chen Wei looked at the black medicine liquid in front of him with a lot of rock sugar, and his heart was a little bitter. Kei Ling, who was lying in the quilt on the side, stood up in confusion and looked at Chen Wei with a hint of confusion. Did our beast masters drink it all in one gulp in the past? Why are they hesitant today and still not daring to take action? After a while, Kei Ling's eyes lit up as if she had figured something out, and she quickly volunteered to Chen Wei through the contract. If you can't drink, don't drink it, let me do it. Chapter 38 Liu Family Dream. At the same time, on the other side of Shushan City, Liu Menging was lying on a soft and comfortable beige sofa, with a lingering weird smile on her charming and elegant face. After replying to the message simply and clearly, Liu Menging's exquisite body had curled up weakly on the sofa. She covered her rosy lips with her soft hands, trying to resist the smile that was pouring out of her heart. Many people thought she was very cold, but who knew that she was actually a person with a low sense of humor. Puff, after all, she couldn't hold it back completely, and Liu Menging began to laugh out loud. She gradually laughed wantonly. Ha ha ha, cough cough, maybe she laughed too wantonly. Liu Menging coughed twice. She hadn't laughed so happily for a long time. Even her small and beautiful feet resting on the edge of the sofa were propped up by the intense laughter at this time, thus forming a beautiful arch of the foot, which was as pleasing to the eye as a crescent moon. Before this, Liu Menging had always thought that Chen Wei was a reserved and calm boy with his own unique ideas. He could even refuse money for his dreams and always kept his original aspirations. But now, she only thought that Chen Wei was a boy who was afraid of the bitterness even when taking medicine and dispersing medicine. It was really a bit funny. Thinking of this, Liu Menging couldn't help laughing again. Knock, knock, there was a rhythmic knock on the door of the classical and elegant door. Liu Menging quickly managed her expression, calmed down her inner excitement, and then curiously glanced at the latest reply on her mobile phone, and said lightly, "Come in." The crisp footsteps gradually approached, and Gu Yun put the report in her hand on the table and said concisely, "Mr. Liu, the experimental results of the institute this month have come out, and the specific information is here." Liu Menging's face condensed when he heard the words, and he suddenly stood up and picked up the stack of information in front of him, and then straightened his back and looked at it carefully. Gu Yun stood there and did not leave. She had memorized all the data flow in her mind and needed to be on call here at any time to answer any questions that the young lady might have. 10 minutes later, Liu Menging pursed her lips, a trace of helplessness flashed in her eyes, and she said self-deprecatingly, "It seems that the experimental report from the institute this month is the same as another project I led the team to study, and there is no progress at all." Gu Yun looked at the slightly disappointed young lady in front of her and comforted her softly, It is a great achievement that you were able to study the evolutionary root of the brilliant king level Shuo Ri puppet 2 years ago. It's okay, just a king level is far from the goal I want. Liu Menging sat on the sofa in a daze. She wanted to rely on her own talent to fulfill the dream that her family has always pursued, rather than simply entrusting this dream to others to complete. In order to better study the evolutionary form of the titanium crystal puppet, Liu Menging deliberately spent a lot of time to become a senior researcher and alchemist. But when the research was stuck in a bottleneck many times, Liu Menging clearly understood that her ability was actually limited. Chen Wei suppressed Kai Ling's restlessness with just one hand. What a joke. There is nothing in the world that he can't drink. However, Chen Wei noticed that something seemed amiss. He looked at Kai Ling suspiciously. What's the matter? Didn't you say that this thing was just so-so? Why do you like to drink it? Yay, it's just so-so, but it will be warm later. Kai Ling's eyes narrowed into a slit, and a smile of aftertaste appeared on her face. Chen Wei felt something was wrong when he saw this. He originally wanted to dispel Kai Ling's curiosity about the vitality powder, but now she is addicted to it. Yai, oh, give me a sip. Kai Ling rubbed Chen Wei's palm with her little head, and even used the seduction skill. It must be said that this is one of the few scenes where Chen Wei can see Kai Ling acting like a spoiled child, except for strengthening. It seems that this girl really likes this potion. Okay, I'll pour you some. Seeing her rare cute performance, Chen Wei decisively chose to agree. He picked up a spoon and scooped some liquid medicine from the bowl and placed it aside, then said to Kai Ling, "This is yours." Kai Ling first glanced at the small amount of vitality powder in the spoon, then looked at the full potion in Chen Wei's bowl. After going back and forth several times, a trace of grievance flashed in her big eyes. "Yeah, you bully the snake." Kai Ling couldn't help it. So much effort to act like a spoiled child in exchange for this little bit of liquid medicine? She instantly shrank into the quilt in anger. Looking at Kai Ling's disappearing figure, Chen Wei smiled helplessly. He was not reluctant to part with that little vitality powder. After all, it was a potion specially used to restore the physical strength of junior beastmasters. It was better to have a smaller dose. He was afraid that Kai Ling would have adverse reactions if she drank too much. Chen Wei shook his head, then closed his eyes and drank the vitality powder in front of him. After drinking it, his frown gradually relaxed, and he smacked his lips. Perhaps because he added enough rock sugar, Chen Wei felt that the taste was barely acceptable this time. It must be said that the vitality powder he made this time was particularly effective. After drinking it, Chen Wei felt that his recovered physical strength was enough for Long Jing to complete 3 to 4 times of strengthening, but he only strengthened Long Jing twice next. After all, he still remembered the lesson of his talent being out of control last time. Chen Wei got up and went to the kitchen to clean up the herbs and utensils, and then returned to the bedroom. He found that the liquid medicine on the spoon had been licked clean, without a drop left. This is really troublesome, Chen Wei sighed helplessly in his heart. When he thought of the possible scenario of one person and one pet drinking a bowl of vitality powder every day in the future, he felt his heart tighten, and then he couldn't help but quickly extinguish this strange idea. Afterwards, Chen Wei, who was exhausted, lay on the bed weakly, and then he reached out and hugged Kai Ling, who was curled up in the quilt, in his arms. What? Kai Ling tapped Chen Wei's arm lightly with her flexible tail. Nothing, I just want to hold you to sleep together, Chen Wei said softly. I don't want to. Kai Ling's body suddenly stiffened after hearing this. Her clear eyes stared at Chen Wei's eyes quietly, and she made a soft and sticky cry as if in disdain. Looking at Kai Ling, who turned her head away but behaved very honestly, Chen Wei simply closed his eyes and pretended to sleep. Although his pet was usually a little arrogant, Chen Wei knew that as long as he gave an order, Kai Ling would choose to obey in the end. This time should be no exception. Chapter 39. The game begins. In the next few days, in addition to daily training, Chen Wei spent the rest of his time making pills. Perhaps he was very talented in refining medicine. In the subsequent 19 batches of medicine powder, Chen Wei only failed 4 times. Among them, the vitality powder failed once, and the recovery powder failed 3 times. The only few times of failure in refining medicine were because Chen Wei made mistakes when fusing the medicine and controlling the temperature. Have you upgraded your telekinesis to mastery? Chen Wei just took out a large bag of medicine powder from the kitchen and saw that all the objects in the room were floating in the air. He immediately said to Kai Ling in surprise, Simple and simple, Kayling raised her head proudly, her eyes full of pride. Her meditation and practice day and night were not in vain. This was the first time Chen Wei saw a pet that could master the 3rd level telekinesis to mastery at the 10th level of the juvenile. It's amazing. Put these things down slowly. We have to eat later, Chen Wei hurriedly said to Kayling with a smile. Although he was happy, Chen Wei was a little nervous when he saw the flying electrical appliances in the air. He was really afraid that Kayling's telekinesis would have problems, and then he would accidentally mess up everything at home. Okay, looking at all the home appliances that landed safely, Chen Wei felt relieved. Try not to use telekinesis to lift things at home, as it is easy to be damaged. If you think the dumbbells are not heavy enough, you can lift me with telekinesis. Chen Wei seemed to have thought of something, and looked at Kayling with a hint of expectation in his eyes, and whispered. Flying freely in the sky has always been the dream of mankind, and Chen Wei is no exception. It's just that there was no such opportunity in his hometown before. When he arrived at Blue Star, most of the Beastmasters would choose to cultivate a powerful flying pet in their team, so that they could gallop across the sky freely. Okay, Kayling nodded quickly after hearing this, and then her eyes emitted a blue light. Chen Wei immediately felt a light blue telekinesis begin to wrap around his whole body, and then lifted his body and slowly floated in the air. That's the feeling. Looking down at the distance between his body and the ground getting farther and farther, Chen Wei began to smile happily. It's a pity that the height of the house is still too low. After the excitement, Chen Wei, who felt a little bored, murmured in a low voice. Hearing her own Beastmaster say that it was boring, Kayling's mind moved, and she directly used telekinesis to speed up Chen Wei's flight speed. Exciting. After a happy fight, Chen Wei began to cook today's lunch. Not long after, several steaming dishes appeared on the table, including tomato scrambled eggs, cola chicken wings, and Kayling's favorite secret grilled fish. Chen Wei used a sharp fruit knife to cut the snow lotus pill in his hand into 2 halves, put one half on a clean plate, and the other half was properly stored. That was Kayling's main meal for dinner today. Kayling swallowed half of the snow lotus pill in the round plate, and then stared at the plate of grilled fish with eager eyes. Seeing the dissatisfied Kayling turned her head and made a lazy call to him, Chen Wei's face was more smiling. He first put down the bowl and chopsticks in his hand, and then slowly handed the grilled fish on the plate to Kayling's mouth one by one. In the past, Kayling always liked to eat fresh fish frozen with cold breath, but now she is obsessed with Chen Wei's secret grilled fish. Chen Wei, who was enjoying the fun of feeding, suddenly heard the passionate voice coming from the TV. A new beginning. A new strong man. The champion challenge held by the Shushan Beast Taming Association is about to open grandly, glory is crowned, miracles are born. Which new Beastmasters this year can fight 10 opponents on this shining stage and defeat 10 opponents in a row, at 8 o'clock on Monday morning, Shushan Satellite TV, see you there. Oh. By the way, if it weren't for this voice reminding him, Chen Wei almost forgot that he had to participate in the apprentice challenge held by the Beast Tamer Association tomorrow. If he missed such a competition, he would never have it again. If it were normal, where would he find so many opponents for Kayling? There's still a competition tomorrow, you should rest well tonight and don't train too much, Chen Wei reminded Kayling softly. Yeah, practice for another hour, Kayling's crisp voice rang in Chen Wei's mind. The next morning, Chen Wei took the bus to the Battle Hall of Area A of the Beast Tamer Association. It's so exaggerated. There are so many people. There are so many new Beastmasters in Shushan City this year. After arriving at the competition venue, Chen Wei felt a little numb after looking at the crowd of people lining up. There seemed to be too many people in the hall. I just don't know which of the so many queues are contestants and which are spectators. Perhaps because of the competition, the waiting time this time was much shorter than last time. After a while, Chen Wei came to the front of the line. Hello, this is your competition number 0235. The competition arena assigned to you is the number 1 to number 2 platform in Area A. You can freely choose to attack or defend between these 2 platforms, but you only have 2 chances to challenge, the lady at the front desk said sweetly. Okay, thank you. After taking the number, Chen Wei turned and left. The space in Area A is very large. There are dozens of platforms that can provide training and fighting. There are comfortable and safe stands on the high ground around each platform, which can accommodate hundreds of spectators. At this time, before the game started, The crowd in the audience seats was already 3 layers inside and 3 layers outside, and it was impossible to get through. There are so many spectators, this is too enthusiastic. After Chen Wei came to the competition seat of platform number 1, he looked at the dark crowd not far away and exclaimed, "It's okay. It's like this every time the association holds a beast control competition." Chen Wei turned his head and saw a handsome boy wearing gold-rimmed glasses and a lapel polo shirt. At the boy's feet was a thunder tiger lion that was over 2 meters long and full of pale yellow electric arcs. As if noticing Chen Wei's gaze, it raised its head proudly, and looked at Chen Wei with eyes full of majesty, and its majestic and upright body was like copper and iron. "Hello, nice to meet you. I'm Meng Haoj from Shushan No. 1 Middle School." The boy took the initiative to extend his hand to Chen Wei and said, "Hello, I'm Chen Wei from Shushan No. 2 Middle School." After a few pleasantries, Chen Wei couldn't resist the urge to touch the tiger lion's mane. He pointed to the thunder tiger lion that was still lying on the ground and looked fierce, and asked Meng Haoj curiously, "Is this your original pet? Can I touch it?" Chapter 40, Thunder Tiger and Lion. "Of course, Xiaoluo is very well behaved," Meng Haoj said with a smile. Chen Wei was delighted when he heard this, licked his lips, and was a little excited. Every time he saw a cat, he couldn't help but want to rub it. Reaching out and stroking the soft and flamboyant mane of the thunder tiger lion, feeling the slight electric current coming from his fingers, Chen Wei nodded with satisfaction. Pet name, Thunder Tiger Lion. Pet age, 3 months. Pet attribute, electricity. Racial level, high level transcendent. Strength level, young 9th level. Racial skills, Thunder Roar, Thunder Palm, Thunder Flash, Thunder Shock, Thunder Spirit. Pet potential, Earth rank middle grade. Just looking at this arrogant appearance and body shape, it is hard for others to believe that this little guy is only 3 months old. What did he eat to grow up? At this time, the host on the platform had already begun to explain the rules of the champion challenge. Although he listened to the host for a long time, Chen Wei felt that most of it was some irrelevant nonsense. At the beginning of the competition, the big screen on the contestant seat will randomly select a contestant who presses the challenge button to serve as the champion. Every time a challenger is defeated, the champion will receive a reward until he defeats 10 challengers in a row. He will receive a special prize from the Beast Tamer Association. Of course, if the champion is defeated by a contestant, the winner will automatically become the champion and continue to accept challenges from other Beastmasters. Chen Wei felt that the most cruel thing about this competition system was that the champion only had a short 10-minute break after winning, but had to face other Beastmasters in good condition. After a while, the host who introduced the rules shouted passionately, "I declare that the Apprentice Champion Challenge will start now." Chen Wei pressed the button next to his seat as soon as the host finished speaking, but unfortunately his hand speed was still a little slow. At this time, the big screen on the stage showed, Champion, number 0236 Meng Haoj, Challenger, number 0031 Jing Chang. Seeing this, Chen Wei immediately looked at the handsome and gentle boy next to him. "Then I'll go up and show my ugliness first." Meng Haoj showed a faint confident smile on his face. "I'll look forward to your performance." Chen Wei raised his eyebrows and said softly. He really wanted to know how many Beastmasters this Beastmaster who had a high-level extraordinary pet, the Thunder Tiger Lion, could defeat. "Next, please invite the champion and challenger of the first match to come on stage." The host's heroic and enthusiastic voice resounded through the speakers arranged in the stadium, and the audience also erupted in waves of excited cheers. The Thunder Tiger Lion on the platform was panting heavily at this time. It was obvious that the long battle consumed too much of its physical strength. The physical strength brought by the short rest and the treatment of medicine was not much. However, under the command of its master, it has defeated 6 opponents in a row, and it doesn't want to fall down like this. There is no other reason. The Thunder Tiger Lion just wants to win 10 consecutive victories. On the other side of the field, a giant golden bear, under the command of the Beastmaster AI Cage, tightened its muscles and emitted a faint golden light. Pet name, Giant Golden Bear. Pet attribute, Gold. Racial level, Advanced Transcendent. Strength level, Young level 8. Racial skills, Rage. Metal armor, Metal impact, Sharp claws. Pet potential, Yellow rank mid-grade. Although the Thunder Tiger Lion on the field looked very weak and had a lot of flaws, as if it would fall down after a blow, it would not act rashly under the command of the Beastmaster. After all, it was the most cautious bear among the giant golden bears. Meng Heoja's face was still as confident as ever, and he ordered softly. Take care of it with Thunder Flash. The Thunder Tiger Lion's eyes condensed, and its hind legs kicked hard. Its majestic and upright body suddenly turned into a flash of lightning and slammed into the giant golden bear fiercely. A trace of surprise flashed in AI Cage's eyes. He didn't expect a Beastmaster on the opposite side to collide like this. You know, his pet's favorite way of fighting is to fight head-on. Let it see your power, Metal Shock. Looking at the Thunder Tiger Lion sprinting at high speed, the giant golden bear's eyes flashed with disdain. It roared, and the surface of its body exuded a metallic luster, and then it quickly ran towards the dazzling yellow electric current. The distance between the two sides was constantly decreasing. Just when the two were about to collide violently, Meng Heoja's mouth corners suddenly rose slightly. Meng Heoj suddenly conveyed his thoughts, dodge, and then counterattack with Thunder Palm. Upon hearing this, the Thunder Tiger Lion immediately exerted force on its legs and adjusted its direction in time. It dodged the attack of the giant golden bear and instantly gave it a severe electric shock on the head. Zizzy, the giant golden bear was knocked to the ground. It roared in pain. With a protection of metal armor, this little damage could not do anything to it. Especially for a golden bear like it, it was not painful at all. AI Cage's face froze when he saw this, and then he angrily ordered, "Sharp claws." The pupils of the giant golden bear on the ground suddenly shrank. It seemed to have noticed something, and touched its head with its huge bear paw in disbelief. It's gone. A large piece of my handsome hair is missing. Feeling the smooth touch of a part of the head, the giant golden bear was furious. I want to kill this shameless lion. The angry giant golden bear did not choose to obey AI Cage's command, but went into rage directly. It wanted to tear the agile and hateful tiger lion in front of it into pieces. Looking at the giant golden bear that had lost its mind, Meng Heoja's eyes lit up. The giant golden bear in a rage is the most dangerous time for it, but it is also the easiest time to defeat it. Meng Heoj then commanded the Thunder Tiger Lion to pull the giant golden bear at its best speed on the opposite platform. After grinding the giant golden bear for a full 8 or 9 minutes, it exhausted all its physical strength and fell to the ground powerlessly. Referee, winner, Meng Heoj, Thunder Tiger Lion. Forever invincible, 10 consecutive wins, 10 consecutive wins. There was another round of enthusiastic cheers from the audience. The host shouted at the top of his lungs, "The hearty battle is really unbelievably powerful. Contestant Meng Heoj has won 7 consecutive victories. Who can stop his winning streak? People's joys and sorrows are not the same." At this time, Chen Wei patted the button on his seat vigorously. After 7 games, no game had drawn his number. What is the probability? Is this button broken? Chen Wei thought helplessly, otherwise it would be his turn. After a 10-minute break, the big screen on the stage lit up again. Champion, number 0236 Meng Heoj, challenger, number 0235 Chen Wei. Oh, it's finally my turn. The surprised Chen Wei walked onto the opposite platform confidently. The referee reminded, 1 minute to prepare, the battle begins. Chen Wei and Meng Heoj summoned their pets at the same time. Chapter 41 Beaming Zhuanggui. As soon as the Thunder Tiger Lion appeared, it roared to the sky, and then looked at its opponent fiercely. What a noisy guy. Kailing's slender body was entangled, and then shook her head unhappily. Is it useful to rely on a loud voice to fight? It still depends on strength. Dragon fights tiger, and a powerful rare pet beast appears on the field, the cold jade snake. Can it stop the winning streak of the Thunder Tiger Lion? The host immediately shouted. Use polar ice. Chen Wei gave an order. A series of white lights suddenly spread around Kailing. With her as the center, a large amount of cold air began to spread rapidly on the platform, and the ground of the platform was gradually covered with snow-white ice. Meng Heoj, Thunderbolt interrupt. He would not let his opponent establish his home environment so easily. A fierce light flashed in the Thunder Tiger Lion's eyes, and his feet stomped on the ground. His body suddenly jumped up, turning into dazzling lightning, and rushed towards the cold jade snake fiercely. Ice Hide, Kailing's crystal-clear body immediately lit up with a pale blue halo, and then her body quickly merged with a large amount of ice she created, and her body disappeared at a speed visible to the naked eye. Boom, there was a loud noise. The ice shattered where Kailing was standing originally, and smoke and dust filled the air. Feeling that the attack failed, the Thunder Tiger Lion scanned the surroundings with majestic eyes. Do you want to create a favorable terrain to slowly wear down my Thunder Tiger Lion? Meng Heoj showed a confident smile on his face. Thunder Spirit Transformation. The Thunder Tiger Lion stood in place and roared, and a dazzling electric current burst out of its body. It felt that the powerful electrical power was continuously gushing out of its body. Cold breath. Chen Wei would not let his opponent strengthen. Kailing's body suddenly appeared, looking at the Thunder Tiger Lion accumulating power not far away, and spit out a cold blue beam of extremely cold light from her mouth, quickly freezing it into a huge tiger lion ice sculpture, and then suddenly exploded. Meng Heoj clenched his fists, without any hesitation in his eyes, and ordered loudly, "Use the Roaring Thunder to smash it." The Roaring Thunder is an electric skill with a very large attack coverage, especially on the opposite platform, which can basically cover the entire venue. A golden figure suddenly rushed out from the smoke and dust. It was the Thunder Tiger Lion with frost all over its hair and frostbitten body. At this time, it was opening its bloody mouth, its chest bulging high, and a huge amount of electric energy condensed in its mouth. A trace of determination flashed in its eyes. Boom! A large amount of electric current gushed out in an instant, destroying the ice venue that Kailing had worked hard to build while continuing to sweep across the entire opposite platform, and then triggered a violent shock wave, raising a large piece of broken ice and smoke. Thunder Tiger Lion, invincible. Domineering, so strong. I said no one can defeat it. At the same time, the audience in the auditorium burst into fierce cheers again. No way, the Jade Snake, which had a slight advantage at the beginning, fell like this, the host also said with an incredible look on his face. At this time, the Thunder Tiger Lion, which had just completed the attack, was sticking out its tongue, breathing heavily, and its body was shaking all over. It believed that no pet of the same level could continue to fight after this attack. It will win again. Meng Heoj stared at the smoke with his eyes fixed on the smoke. As long as the battle is not over, he will not relax his vigilance. But Chen Wei had a smile on his lips at this time. He looked at the slowly rising smoke and transmitted his thoughts. End it with continuous cold breath. Yi, okay. The colorful spirit in the smoke gave Chen Wei feedback in time. 3 consecutive extremely cold ice beams shot out from the smoke in an instant, hitting the Thunder Tiger Lion with unwilling face one after another, accompanied by a loud bang. The Thunder Tiger Lion fell directly to the ground with a weird posture and movement, and its entire body was covered with snow-white frost. The referee blew the whistle and announced loudly, "Winner, Chen Wei, lost." It seems that her practice is not enough. Meng Heoj's body stiffened slightly, and he murmured a little disappointedly, but then he quickly ran towards the Thunder Tiger Lion that was frozen into ice. But winning or losing is not as important as the Thunder Tiger Lion's body. The loser is out, the winner is on stage. Let us welcome the new champion Chen Wei, the host shouted hoarsely. "Ah! Hanyu Snake, you are the best," a girl in the audience shouted loudly. "What an exciting battle. I thought the Thunder Tiger Lion won, who isn't? But this cold jade snake is really powerful. Why haven't I seen this kind of pet before? It's been many years since a Beastmaster in Shushan City has been able to contract this kind of pet. It's normal that you haven't seen it. I almost succeeded at the beginning. Almost? Or 100 million, what a good opponent. It's a pity that this is your 8th battle." Chen Wei, who was resting in the backstage, shook his head and felt that it was a bit unfair. Although even if the Thunder Tiger Lion did not consume any physical strength and fought with Kailing again in its perfect state, the outcome between them would not change, but Chen Wei still felt it was a pity. "I hope the second opponent can be stronger." Chen Wei was looking forward to it. Chen Wei stroked Kailing's head and said with a smile, "It's up to you next." Yeah. I can beat 10 more like the one just now." Kailing raised her head, stood up, and said confidently. Chen Wei's cheeks suddenly showed a smile. "Of course, my trump card." 10 minutes passed in a flash. Chen Wei was standing on the opposite platform, waiting for the big screen on the stage to draw the next challenger. Next, challenger, number 0131 by Yi. After a while, a short, chubby boy trotted to the opposite platform. "Referee, the battle begins." The star ring in Chen Wei's hand flashed, and Kailing's figure quickly appeared in front of him. And the Beastmaster Bai Yi in the distance seemed to have encountered some problems and was in a panic. After a few seconds, he summoned a turtle with a black body and regular white lines on its back. Chen Wei smiled helplessly upon seeing this, and used the identification skill directly. This was the first time he had seen a combination of Beastmasters with such a low degree of compatibility. Name of pet, Black Spirit Turtle, Pet Attribute, Water System, Racial Level, Advanced Transcendent, Strength Level, Larva Level 7, Racial Skills, Water Control. Longevity, Bite, Shell Shield, Pet Potential, Yellow Rank Mid Quality. Introduction: a spirit turtle that is particularly good at defense, has a good affinity with water source energy, and can control water flow. It is reported that this pet has a very low probability of being the ancient descendant of the king-level pet, Beaming Black Turtle. Thinking of this, Chen Wei looked at the motionless black turtle in the distance in surprise. Can this cute little thing be a king-level descendant? If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelis. There you'll find the original version of this story, and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 42 Vine Dryad. Go up, use bite. The black turtle slowly stretched out its head and looked at its beastmaster. Its hesitant eyes seemed full of rejection. Go up, beastmaster. Bai Yi repeated the order again. As if he suddenly realized something, his face froze and sweat began to form on his temples. It can't be so embarrassing. Bai Yi didn't expect that his pet, the black turtle, would be so cowardly as soon as it was summoned. Looking at the majestic cold jade snake in the distance, it actually had no intention of fighting. No matter how he communicated with a black turtle, it had no intention of obeying the command. The black turtle had its own plan and was determined to shrink in its shell and not move. Hey, he came on stage to fight with his pets, not to embarrass himself. Thinking of this, Bai Yi hurriedly used the beast control contract to forcibly control the body of the black turtle and quickly rushed towards the cold jade snake. He could accept defeat, but he could not accept such a surrender without a fight. Looking at the slightly stiff Zuanling turtle in the distance, Chen Wei frowned slightly. He felt that there seemed to be something wrong with his opponent this time. Forget it, the battle has already begun. Try to make a quick decision. Kei Ling, use telekinesis to move it out. Chen Wei didn't even want to use his attack skills this time. He had already seen that the Zuanling turtle was resisting the battle frantically, and his heart was full of panic. Such a suspenseless battle made him lose interest, and even disappointed. Kei Ling's eyes instantly bloomed with a light blue light, and the Zuanling turtle that was sprinting towards him flew out of the opposite platform at a faster speed in the blink of an eye. There were several bangs, and the body of the Zuanling turtle was out of bounds while rolling continuously. The referee blew the whistle immediately. The winner is decided. It's really wonderful, simple and rough strength suppression, just one round. The cold jade snake won another victory, the host announced loudly, which caused another round of fierce cheers from the audience. Hanyu Snake is my favorite. Go ahead, Snake, you are the strongest. 10 consecutive wins. Chen Wei's mouth twitched when he heard this. He didn't know if this host's hosting skills were strong, but he liked to talk awkwardly. The other party was clearly here to give away heads, but he could still brag awkwardly. Even among the enthusiastic audience, he suspected that the ones who shouted the most intensely at this time were the atmosphere group led by the official money. Chen Wei stopped daydreaming, walked to the side of the referee, and asked softly, I don't need a break, can I go directly to the next duel? He didn't want to waste time like this anymore. There was no need to rest in such a battle. The referee glanced at him in surprise. Of course, we respect your choice. He didn't expect a beastmaster in front of him to be so brave. He had the style of his youth. Standing on the ring, Chen Wei was quietly waiting for the referee to issue an order. He had defeated 8 opponents in a row, but except Meng Haoj, the other opponents were more difficult to describe. They were mostly some medium-level special-level pets with weak strength. Until now, Kei Ling didn't even have a single scratch on her body, and her big watery eyes were still bright. It wasn't as difficult as Chen Wei had expected. The slightly plump teenager Hang Lezi not far away was his 9th Beastmaster opponent. The referee pressed down with his right hand. The battle begins. The Beastmaster Hang Lezi on the opposite side summoned his pet very quickly. In an instant, a 3-meter tall tree with green vines wrapped around it appeared on the ring. If you look carefully through the dense leaves, you can also find a terrifying human face growing on the main part of the tree. Rare plant-based pet, Chen Wei exclaimed, and used the identification skill in surprise. He had only seen this rare creature in books, but it was the first time he had seen it in reality. Pet name, Vine Tree Spirit, Pet Attribute, Wood, Racial Level, Advanced Transcendent, Strength level, young level 8, racial skills, rooting, vine whip, hard skin, rapid growth, pet potential, mysterious grade lower rooting, then use rapid growth, hang lazy ordered immediately. The vine tree spirit manipulated a large number of rhizomes to quickly take root in the arena ground covered with frost, and then a faint green flashed across its body surface. Obviously its state and wood ability have been significantly improved. Rapid growth is a strength and recovery skill of the wood system, which can make the recovery ability of the plant system itself more prominent and greatly increase the speed of healing its own injuries. Seeing this, Chen Wei commanded with his mind, turret mode, use the cold breath skill, and be careful not to approach it. Chen Wei is still very clear about the advantages and disadvantages of this plant-based pet. The vine tree spirit has outstanding strength, defense and recovery, especially in close combat. Its wildly waving vines will let the enemy know what the art of binding is. But the only drawback is that it is slow and particularly afraid of fire skills. So as long as you keep a distance, this pet is a live target in the juvenile stage. And when it matures, few high-level beastmasters dare to challenge this plant-based pet in a forest full of green plants. Now K-Ling is more and more proficient in the control of cold breath. In just 1 second, K-Ling's mouth continuously spit out 2 cold blue beams of extreme cold, accurately hitting the vine tree spirit that was taking root in the same place. The rumbling sound continued, and a frost storm was set off on the battlefield. The ice fragments bursting from the violent explosion of cold breath caused a large number of wounds on the body of the vine tree spirit. Some green juices did not have time to flow out of the wounds of the tree spirit for a long time before they were frozen by the cold frost again, and then burst again to tear open a larger wound. Ugh! The vine tree spirit roared in pain. Its originally dense leaves were now few and far between, and many branches on its body were broken and disappeared. The most critical thing is that the biting cold makes it extremely difficult to recover. The huge amount of damage made the vine tree spirit unable to move, and even the vines secretly buried under the ground of the cold jade snake could not launch an attack. Feeling the injury of his pet through the contract, Hang Leji's slightly fat cheeks were full of disbelief. His meaty vine tree spirit was killed in seconds? Referee, someone fouled. Is the opponent's pet sure to be in the larval stage? In the same level, even if it is the fire skill with the strongest restraint relationship. His tree spirit can resist 4 to 5 times when it uses rooting and rapid growth. As a result, the 2 cold breaths in front of him directly took away most of his pet's life. I give up, can you save my pet quickly? Before the referee could react, Hang Leji shouted in a hurried voice. Chapter 43 Blue Frost Falcon. The sky was clear and cloudless. Chen Wei's last ring match was about to begin. Huh? He slowly exhaled a long breath, stretched his body a little, and then stepped into the spacious and bright competition channel and came to the stage filled with warm cheers. Next, please welcome the fighting genius among the new beastmasters in Shushan City. The invincible and unstoppable opponent Chen Wei, the host shouted at the top of his lungs. Chen Wei stood on the stage with a somewhat dull expression, but his fists were tightly clenched in his sleeves. It's okay to brag, as long as I'm not embarrassed, others will be embarrassed. Chen Wei was naturally very confident in K-Ling's strength, but he was just not used to the host's exaggerated flattery. And his challenger is a new beastmaster with both beauty and strength, Yu Zilmin. Hearing this, Chen Wei's attention was instantly attracted, and he looked at the other side of the battlefield in surprise. A shy girl wearing an exquisite black suit and a black short skirt walked to the command area. She was wearing white headphones and her black hair was spread out. As if she had noticed Chen Wei's surprised look, Yu Zilman smiled and nodded. It seems that I have to be more serious in this game, otherwise I might lose, Chen Wei thought silently. After the battle began, as expected, a nice-type pet appeared in front of Chen Wei. There was a vertical blue mustache pattern below the pair of sharp eyes, the head was blue-gray, the coverts on the back and wings were white, and there were triangular blue spots. Its wings were narrow and pointed, the tail feathers were long, and there were wide blue sub-end spots and white end spots. When flying at high speed in the air, it looked like a white lightning. Pet name, Blue Frost Falcon. Pet attribute, Ice. Racial level, Advanced Transcendent. Strength level, Juvenile level 9. Racial skills, Ice Claws, Cold Breath, Ice Blade, Frost Storm, Sharp Eyes. Pet potential, Earth rank mid-grade juvenile level 9 Blue Frost Falcon. K-Ling, you have to be careful. Chen Wei stared at the aggressive Blue Frost Falcon with his eyes and said solemnly. Oh cap, oh, got it, The laziness on Kei Ling's face disappeared in an instant, and then she looked at the blue frost falcon flying in the sky. Polar ice, a faint chill continued to rise around Kei Ling's body, rendering everything around her into a snow-white ice scene. Blue frost falcon, use frost storm. Zillman's mouth curled up slightly. The ice field established by the cold jade snake can allow the blue frost falcon to set off a more violent ice storm. Under the crazy flapping of the wings of the blue frost falcon, a small tornado instantly formed not far in front of it, and then the tornado quickly expanded and turned into a storm wrapped in countless frost and swept towards the cold jade snake. Looking at the whistling frost storm, Chen Wei frowned slightly. What does this mean? Just use the ultimate move when you meet? Kei Ling is an ice-type pet beast. The cold air that comes with this large-scale ice-type skill is difficult to cause effective damage to Kei Ling. Ice armor, then ice hide to find an opportunity, Chen Wei commanded with his mind. Yeah, okay, the storm came quickly. Hiss, Chen Wei covered his eyes with his hands, and the cold air on the platform made his body tremble uncontrollably. Soon, after the storm dissipated, many large and small deep pits appeared on the ground of the platform in front of Chen Wei. Outside the deep pits were broken ice and large pieces of frost, but Kei Ling was missing. Yu Zilman carefully scanned the frost on the distant arena. Ordinary pets will never be spared from such an attack, and will only be frozen into large blocks of ice by the cold air. Even if it is a cold jade snake, if it is unlucky and happens to be hit by the center of the frost storm, it will lose most of its physical strength. Use your sharp eyes to find the cold jade snake, Yu Zilman ordered hurriedly. Li, the blue frost ice falcon that was constantly circling in the air made a loud cry, and its eyes were searching for the possible figure of the cold jade snake on the platform. Looking at the blue frost ice falcon flying in the sky for reconnaissance, Chen Wei felt a little troubled. Pets that can fly are difficult to deal with, especially the blue frost ice falcon in front of him, which is very vigilant and always maintains a safe height. It seems that the physical strength of this ice falcon must be consumed more, otherwise it will be difficult to pull its body down from such a height with Kei Ling's telekinesis alone. Chen Wei frowned slightly, and then commanded with his mind, cold breath sneak attack. Several rays of light suddenly lit up in a corner of the platform covered with frost. It was Kei Ling's crystal clear body that was glowing, and even the ice crystals on both sides of her head were flashing cold blue light. The extremely cold source energy gathered in Kei Ling's mouth turned into a surging energy beam, rushing towards the blue frost falcon in the air at lightning speed. A flash of light flashed in the blue frost falcon's sharp eyes. Sure enough, it was well prepared with a reminder of the Beastmaster. Its flying speed increased instantly, and it quickly dodged the cold breath attack, and then rushed towards the exposed Hanyu snake. Xiao Shuang, take this opportunity to attack with ice claws. Yu Zilman showed a bright smile on her cheeks, and she waved her right hand vigorously, as if to encourage her pet. Her blue frost falcon had actually used the sharp eyesight skill in the air to discover the hiding position of the Hanyu snake. It's just that she has been pretending not to know, and seducing the opponent to attack. After all, the long-range skills of the blue frost falcon are difficult to hurt a cold jade snake, which is also an ice type. But as long as it can get close to the opponent and launch a surprise attack at the moment when the opponent launches a skill, the stalemate of the skills will make it difficult for the cold jade snake to avoid a blue frost falcon's extremely fast pounce from the sky. Li, the blue frost falcon's cold and shining claws suddenly lit up with a blue glow, and then its body drew a clever arc in the air, rapidly approaching Kei Ling, who was still slightly open. Seeing Kei Ling about to be attacked by the ice claws of the ice falcon, Chen Wei's face was actually a little excited. It seems that I am still one step ahead, Chen Wei thought silently in his heart, and a hint of teasing flashed in his eyes when he looked at the blue frost falcon. Telekinetic barrier, Kei Ling's false mouth suddenly closed, and her big watery eyes were full of pride. As soon as she thought about it, her eyes suddenly lit up with a pale blue flame. A long-prepared transparent telekinetic barrier suddenly unfolded in front of her, and then suddenly enveloped the aggressive blue frost falcon. Swish, this was the sound of the blue frost falcon's sharp ice claws scratching through the air, but it could never touch Kei Ling's body. The blue frost falcon's wings were waving wildly in place, but its body strangely stayed in the air not far from Kei Ling, unable to move freely, as if an invisible bird cage had locked it tightly. Chapter 44, The Winner. Ambush. Seeing the situation on the battlefield take a sharp turn for the worse, and feeling the panic in the heart of the blue frost falcon, Yu Zilman's face darkened. Her pet will not be defeated so easily. Use all your strength in the frost storm. Violence. The blue frost falcon let out an angry cry, as if venting its inner anger. Several small tornadoes gradually began to emerge around its body, and then gathered to form a frost storm that swallowed everything. Under the control of K-Ling's telekinesis, you still want to release a large-scale attack skill? Keep your distance, and attack with telekinesis. Looking at the blue frost falcon's resistance, Chen Wei smiled slightly and immediately gave an order to K-Ling. Under the control of K-Ling's light blue telekinesis, the blue frost falcon's body slammed to the ground, and then rose into the air again while struggling, and then continued to fall to the ground at high speed. Boom boom boom, a series of loud noises rang out on the ring. The body of the blue frost falcon sank powerlessly into the pitted ground. The intense pain from all directions made the falcon's face show a painful expression. The miniature tornado that it had worked so hard to condense before had long been interrupted and dissipated. Yu Zilman looked at the falcon in front of her with a pale face, which had lost most of its combat power. Her heart was like a tangled mess. She knew clearly that if she continued to fight like this, she would only end up in defeat. When she thought of this, a trace of determination flashed in Yu Zilman's eyes. She bit her red lips with her pearly teeth and began to mobilize all her source power, trying to stimulate her own innate gift of ice blessing as a last-ditch effort. In an instant, it seemed as if a deep blue flame quickly rose up from the blue frost falcon's body. Its body suddenly became very shining, and large pieces of ice source energy gathered in front of it. Her ice blessing can maximize the source energy value of ice pets and increase the power of all ice skills. The superposition of the two can cause a skill to cause up to 3 times the huge damage. The last full-strength ice blade, Yu Zilman ordered loudly. The majestic ice energy rippled in the sky above the blue frost falcon, and blue ice blades condensed from the ripples, and then turned into a large amount of blue light and flew towards K-Ling. Fight back with all your strength with cold breath, let it also see our power. Chen Wei's face immediately showed an excited smile. After hearing this, K-Ling's slender body stood up, and her eyes stared coldly at the blue frost falcon that suddenly exploded in the distance. Immediately, she began to work hard to accumulate power, continuously absorbing the surrounding ice energy, and her mouth began to shine with a brilliant cold blue light. Looking at the ice blade that was about to fly, K-Ling suddenly spewed out a huge cold breath that absorbed a large amount of ice energy, setting off a terrifying air explosion. Under the tense gazes of countless spectators in the audience, a terrifying extremely cold air current and countless blue lights transformed from ice blades collided fiercely like a meteorite, and then set off a huge explosion. A deafening roar suddenly sounded above the platform, and many spectators lowered their heads and covered their ears. After a while, the smoke and dust on the field gradually dissipated. K-Ling's crystal-clear body slowly appeared in front of Chen Wei. Chen Wei nodded slightly to K-Ling, and then looked at the blue frost ice falcon that was still flying in the air. Use your telekinesis to pull it down. Chen Wei didn't know how long the proud blue frost ice falcon in front of him could hold on, but he knew from the flying posture of the ice falcon that it had little physical strength left. Yu Zilman looked at the cold jade snake whose body was always spotless with a solemn expression, and commanded with her mind, "Continue the ice blade, Yi." K-Ling made a crisp cry. The blue frost falcon's movements in mid-air suddenly stopped. A powerful binding force restricted the blue frost falcon's flight, and its blue-white body began to fall rapidly from the air. "I give up." Yu Zilman raised her right hand decisively and said. The outcome of the next match was already very clear. If she couldn't beat him, she couldn't beat him. There was no need to let her blue frost falcon continue to be hurt. "Stop," Chen Wei immediately said to K-Ling after hearing this. K-Ling immediately removed the powerful telekinetic binding that was exerting pressure on the blue frost falcon. The referee immediately blew the whistle and announced, "Winner, Chen Wei." At the same time, the host's high and enthusiastic voice suddenly sounded through the broadcast on the field. After the fierce competition in the morning, the first new generation of Beastmasters who won 10 consecutive victories has appeared. He will receive a bonus of 1 million star coins awarded by the Beastmaster Association, as well as a special gift package. Let's congratulate him. 10 consecutive wins. 10 consecutive wins. Waves of shouting like waves also rang out in the audience. Under the guidance of the stadium staff, Chen Wei came to a room on the 9th floor of the Beast Tamer building. Here, he can get the real reward issued by the Champion Challenge. As the winner of this ring challenge, how difficult do you think the beast taming competition held by the association is? Meng Bowen, the president of the Beast Tamer Association, asked curiously. In the past, the competitions held by the Shushan City Beast Tamer Association were one-on-one elimination competitions. The contestants were eliminated after rounds of competition to determine the top 3 winners. This year's revised competition deliberately increased the difficulty to select the beast-taming geniuses in Shushan City who are good at pet beast battles. The new beast tamer needs to fight 10 people alone, and the most important thing is that the pet beast has not had enough rest time. Under these 2 key conditions, Meng Bowen originally thought that there might not be a champion who successfully defended the title this year. Unexpectedly, Chen Wei in front of him gave him a big surprise. Looking at the middle-aged man with an extraordinary appearance in front of him, noticing his interested eyes, Chen Wei smiled and said, "Not bad, it's a very interesting game." Meng Bowen smiled helplessly, then decided to make a long story short, and took out a black card from his body and handed it to Chen Wei. There are 1 million star coins in this card, which is the star coin reward you won for successfully defending the ring. In addition, the special gift package you received is actually the qualification to enter the Nanbinshan Secret Realm in a month. Meng Bowen looked at Chen Wei and said in a steady voice. Secret Realm? Chen Wei was slightly stunned, and he was a little bit unable to react. When did a secret realm appear in a remote third-level city like Shushan City with a thin source of power? Yes, it's the Xianzhuan Secret Realm you know. President Meng seemed to have noticed Chen Wei's surprise, and spoke lightly to confirm. Of course, this time the Nanbin Mountain Secret Realm is just a low-level ice secret realm. It does not contain many beast-controlling resources, and the pets living in it are all below level 1. Seeing the joy that began to appear on Chen Wei's face, Meng Bowen couldn't help but cough twice and said, Chapter 45 I'm rich. Hearing this, the smile on Chen Wei's face froze. No wonder there was such a benefit as the Xianzhuan Secret Realm falling on his head. It turned out to be just a low-level small secret realm with extremely scarce resources. Maybe the association has already explored and searched the resources inside. There is a Xianzhuan snow pool in the Nanbin Mountain Secret Realm, which is the place with the most concentrated source of energy in the entire secret realm. As if sensing Chen Wei's thoughts, Meng Bowen added. The energy essence gathered in the snow pool at the top of Xianzhuan Mountain can speed up the growth efficiency of pets, improve the potential of pets, and even have a very small probability of allowing pets to complete their species evolution. Hearing this, Chen Wei's eyes lit up slightly, and he quickly asked, how long does the association allow entry into the secret realm, and how will the Beastmasters distribute the Beastmaster resources obtained from it? Seeing that Chen Wei's eyes became a little fiery, Meng Bowen smiled and said, the Nanbin Mountain Secret Realm is cold and the environment is harsh, so the association does not recommend Beastmasters to stay there for a long time. Therefore, the secret realm is open to the public for only 3 days. During this period, all the Beastmaster resources you find in it belong to you and can be taken out of the secret realm freely. Of course, the Beastmasters are not allowed to take away the pets living in the secret realm without permission, except for the pets that have signed the Beastmaster contract. Then has the secret realm been successfully developed by the association this time? Chen Wei nodded, with some hesitation and curiosity. You must know that in Donghua, every secret realm discovered by people is extremely rare and precious. First, there may be special pets in the secret realm that have never been found in the world, and any one of them can be sold at a sky-high price. Secondly, the beast resources born in the secret realm are of various types and rich in source power. Practicing in it can speed up the Beastmaster's source star practice speed. Finally, the core of the secret realm can also be smelted on the advanced star ring by the senior forger, so that the internal space of the star ring overlaps with the extremely vast space of the secret realm. Let the secret realm become the private exclusive space of the Beastmaster from now on. Chen Wei was a little envious when he thought of the secret realm having so many benefits. Why didn't he find an ownerless secret realm? Meng Bowen thought for a while and felt that this was not a piece of news that needed to be concealed, so he said in a deep voice, yes, the association has sent people to explore the secret realm. However, the association did not take away some of the beast resources guarded by the strange beasts in the secret realm, but continued to keep them as a test. As long as you have the strength, there are many beast resources that can be obtained in the secret realm, so that's it. It seems that this secret realm is another battlefield set up by the association for the new Beastmasters to hone their skills. It is estimated that there will be quite a few Beastmasters in Shushan City who can enter the secret realm, and the competition will be very fierce. However, Chen Wei is determined to get the position of the snow pool. After all, there are very few beast resources that help evolution. President Meng, may I ask if the entrance to this secret realm is fixed or random? Chen Wei asked. This secret realm has no fixed entrance. When the time comes, you will be teleported to the secret realm by the staff of the association. Don't worry, the location we usually randomly teleport to will be safer, and we won't let your figure suddenly appear in the sky or in the glacier, Meng Bowen said with a smile. Of course, the safety of teleportation is also limited. If you are unlucky, it is not impossible to teleport you directly to the nest of the alien beast, or to the tree where there are a lot of poisonous bees and alien beasts. Then wouldn't the mortality rate be very high? Chen Wei frowned slightly when he heard this. Why did President Meng say such scary words seriously? Does the life and death of the Beastmaster entering the secret realm depend on luck? Haha, it's not that exaggerated. Even an unlucky person may not encounter such a thing once in 10 years. Seeing Chen Wei's nervous expression, Meng Bowen couldn't help but chuckle. And our association has already mastered the core of this secret realm. If you encounter such a situation, as long as you trigger the special Kongming stone fragments made by the association through your mind, you can leave the secret realm safely. Chen Wei pulled the corner of his mouth. He suddenly found that the president of the Beast Taming Association in front of him, who had a calm temperament, was actually a little unserious. Thank you, President Meng, for clearing my doubts. Chen Wei stood up and thanked him politely. I just told you some specific details of the secret realm that I know. Meng Bowen smiled. He liked to communicate with young and fresh Beastmasters the most, so that he would feel that he could be much younger. After returning to the apartment, Chen Wei felt that he had gained a lot. Not only did he win the championship of the challenge tournament held by the Beast Taming Association, but he also learned a lot of news about the secret realm from President Meng. Of course, the most important gain was the qualification to participate in the secret realm and the championship reward of 1 million star coins. To be honest, the 1 million star coins obtained in time helped Chen Wei's already not wealthy family overcome most of the difficulties in an instant. Thinking of this, Chen Wei directly hugged Kei Ling, who was buried in the quilt, in his arms, and then couldn't help rubbing his face against Kei Ling's jade-like body. Kei Ling turned her head away with some disgust. What was wrong with her, the Beastmaster, today? Wasn't it just a simple win of a few games? As for this, Chen Wei, who was in a good mood, didn't care about the disgusting look of his great hero. He opened the Beastmaster Mall app on his mobile phone, and said to Kei Ling with a happy tone, our family is finally rich. Take a look at the Beastmaster Mall to see if there's anything you like to eat. I will buy it for you. Kei Ling curiously leaned over and looked at the mobile phone in Chen Wei's hand with a puzzled look. Yeah, this thing can't be eaten, August. Chen Wei didn't know how to respond for a moment. He just remembered that his mobile phone had always been a video teaching tool for Kei Ling to learn Donghu characters. He hadn't taught her how to use the mobile phone. So, Chen Wei then taught Kei Ling how to use the mobile phone to shop. It must be said that the smart Kei Ling learned things very quickly. In a short while, she was able to play with a mobile phone in a very good way. She could even shop online by herself and directly bought a Snow Lotus pill on the Beast Taming Mall. Yeah, is that all? Yes, that's all. Tomorrow the courier will deliver the Snow Lotus pill you just bought to your home. Chen Wei smiled and stroked Kei Ling's head. If you have anything else you like, you can use my account to buy it. Just let me know when you check out. Yeah, okay. Kei Ling then used her telekinesis to carefully control the floating mobile phone in front of her, and a dazzling array of goods slowly passed by her eyes. She tilted her head. There were so many pictures of delicious food in her phone, each of which was so tempting that she was really overwhelmed by the choices. Looking at the cute Kei Ling who was having trouble making a choice, Chen Wei's face was filled with a smile. Chapter 46 Ice Tornado. Chen Wei did not choose to disturb Kei Ling's online shopping experience, but picked up the feed and walked to the fish tank. Today has been busy all day, but he has not yet fed Xiaojin. In the fish tank, a red-tailed goldfish with golden scales was swimming in the water. It seemed to have discovered Chen Wei's approach, and its cute big eyes showed a hint of joy. Chen Wei smiled slightly and sprinkled some feed directly into the fish tank. Looking at Xiaojin in the fish tank opening his mouth and constantly sucking the animal feed at the corner of his mouth, Chen Wei felt a little emotional. This little guy is probably his earliest pet. It's just that Xiaojin is not very good at absorbing dragon power. His strength has always remained at the second level of juveniles. Now his body is only more than 50 centimeters long. So Chen Wei used all his dragon power to strengthen K Ling and Dragon Crystal. There is no way, his physical strength is also limited. If he doesn't take tonics every day, he can only use 5 times of strengthening. Xiaojin hasn't been strengthened for almost half a month. Thinking of this, Chen Wei stretched out his right hand to touch Xiaojin in the fish tank, and used the dragon power to strengthen it for the first time in a long time. Xiaojin in the fish tank only felt a familiar heat coming from Chen Wei's palm. It swung its tail comfortably, and the scales on its body shone with a golden light. "Come on, grow up well," Chen Wei said softly. Xiaojin was slightly startled, as if it understood Chen Wei's words. It rubbed Chen Wei's palm affectionately with its body, and spit bubbles leisurely in its mouth. Looking at Xiaojin in front of him, Chen Wei once thought that the first pet beast should simply be contracted with red tail gold. After all, red tail gold is a rare pet beast with dragon blood. However, through the talent experiment, Xiaojin's dragon power strengthening reaction was not as good as Chen Wei expected, so he gave up the idea of starting from hell and chose the cold jade snake. After feeding Xiaojin, Chen Wei came to K Ling's side. "How is it? Have you chosen?" "I've chosen." K Ling made a crisp cry, and then handed the floating mobile phone to Chen Wei. Chen Wei looked at the items on the shopping cart of the Mobile Beast Mall app with a strange expression. "Fresh spirit fish, why did you also buy a drawing board?" I want to learn to paint." Painting? Chen Wei was stunned. What a strange way to unfold this. How could his pet K Ling suddenly think of learning to paint? I like painting." As if she noticed Chen Wei's surprise, K Ling glanced at Chen Wei unhappily. It's not something worth making a fuss about for her to learn to paint. It's really a beastmaster who is surprised by the rare things. Feeling K Ling's contemptuous look, Chen Wei smiled helplessly. Okay, as long as you like it. It's not impossible to learn to paint, but you can't relax the usual practice, Chen Wei reminded softly. Oh, I'll do it, don't worry." K Ling tilted her head cutely. There was no need for her own beastmaster to remind her about cultivation. 24 hours a day, in addition to training and fighting, she was always running the 7 greed meditation method in her mind. Strangely enough, this incomplete meditation method was particularly suitable for her. Even when she was sleeping, this meditation method could run autonomously and continuously improve her mental power. It was just that this passive improvement of mental efficiency would be much lower than when she actively meditated. At first, K Ling was a little uncomfortable with this efficient way of cultivation. However, after a friendly exchange and communication with her own beastmaster, she naturally chose to adapt after confirming that it was correct. There was no way she couldn't bear to give up such a powerful meditation method. The next morning, Chen Wei got up happily and went for a run, and by the way, he picked up the express delivery that K Ling ordered last night. In order for K Ling to be able to watch videos and learn skills better, Chen Wei specially bought a brand new Ali mobile phone on the market last night, which is worth more than 5,000 star coins. After breakfast, Chen Wei opened the express package, skillfully replaced the new mobile phone, and then formally presented his pineapple mobile phone, which he had used for several years and had a deep affection for, to K Ling. Compared with a new mobile phone, at least the old mobile phone will not be painful if it falls, which is just right for K Ling to use telekinesis to surf the internet and learn new skills. Looking at K Ling controlling her telekinesis and playing with a mobile phone and drawing board on the table with curiosity, Chen Wei nodded with satisfaction. There are not many beastmasters as open-minded as him now. After all, there are not a few pet beasts in Donghu who are addicted to the internet. Under the words and deeds of some strange beastmasters, a group of pet beasts addicted to the internet appear in Donghu every year. But Chen Wei believes in K Ling's willpower, and she will not get bad habits on the internet. He was just a little puzzled. Why did K Ling like painting? Chen Wei was full of confusion. Let's go, K Ling. Today we have to go to the association to learn new skills, Chen Wei said confidently, putting his brand new mobile phone in his trouser pocket. K Ling exerted force on her tail, and her body suddenly jumped from the dining table to Chen Wei's arm. She likes to wrap around Chen Wei when she goes out, for no other reason, just that she enjoys this feeling. In the primary ice and snow training ground of the Beast Taming Association. K Ling, come on, Try the feeling of the ice tornado again. Okay. Kayling slowly recalled the release process in the teaching video, and then patiently guided the cold air around her. The faint dragon roar seemed to ring in Chen Wei's ears, and the fallen snow piled on the ground seemed to have a faint spirituality. They gradually turned into a white snow dragon and rose up, carrying the biting cold, which made Chen Wei shiver. In Chen Wei's surprised eyes, the brave and majestic snow dragon was surrounded by a transparent extremely cold air current, which was constantly circling and gathering ice energy at an astonishing speed, thus forming a whirlwind covered with frost flowers. The whirlwind gradually expanded, and the snow dragon seemed to be roaring in the frost-covered wind, constantly rolling up the snowflakes on the snow. Is this an ice tornado? This magnificent scene also caused many ice beast masters who were practicing their skills to exclaim. With a loud bang, the ice tornado controlled by Kayling hit the iceberg in the distance. After a while, the raging ice tornado disappeared, and the height of the small iceberg in the distance was reduced by several meters, and the surface of the iceberg was full of potholes. I learned the ice tornado. Looking at the devastated iceberg in the distance, Kayling shouted excitedly. Amazing, you are indeed the most talented cold jade snake. Chen Wei did not hide his inner excitement and praised fiercely. Chapter 47, Surrounded by Frost. Simple and simple. Facing the praise, Kayling raised her head proudly. After all, she had practiced this skill dozens of times in the past few days, so it was natural that she could learn it today. Kayling, release the ice tornado again, and control the scale a little smaller this time. After Chen Wei was delighted, he couldn't help but give instructions. Okay. Chen Wei felt that Kayling's success in releasing the ice tornado just now might be just an accidental success, and it did not mean that she had fully mastered the skill. The subsequent release practice would help Kayling master the ice tornado proficiently. After a while, the faint dragon roar sounded again in Chen Wei's ears, and a white snow dragon brought the fine snow falling from the sky to form a whirlwind covered with frost flowers. However, this time, under Kayling's careful control, the whirlwind did not expand violently, and the power of the storm was much smaller. It seems that she has really learned it. Chen Wei's eyes lit up when he saw this, and he couldn't help but breathe a sigh of relief. You know, as a third-level ice skill, the difficulty of learning Ice Tornado is extremely high. A few days ago, he and Kayling basically spent every morning in the ice and snow training ground practicing ice skills, trying to learn by analogy and better understand this skill. As a result, Kayling's proficiency in other ice skills increased rapidly, but she had no idea how to learn Ice Tornado. Therefore, after seeing Kayling successfully mastering Ice Tornado in front of him, Chen Wei's mood at this moment was like a rainbow after a storm. He was immediately full of pride and joy. Ice Tornado has been successfully learned. Next, let's learn new skills, Chen Wei said while the iron was hot. He hoped that Kayling could learn a few more new skills and then increase her combat attack surface. What skills? Kayling tilted her head. Now she was full of confidence. Frost Surround. This skill is the superior skill of ice armor, but it is much easier to learn than Ice Tornado. Chen Wei smiled. No problem. Hearing that the difficulty of the new skill is lower than that of Ice Tornado, Kayling immediately looked up and spit out the snake core with some indifference. Don't underestimate the difficulty of learning this skill. It's not easy to learn Frost Surround. Chen Wei touched Kayling's head. Although he reminded Kayling not to be proud and complacent, his eyes always had a hint of satisfaction that could not be concealed. Although Frost Surround is only a second-level ice skill, it requires a very high ability to control the ice of the pit. As a rare skill that is both offensive and defensive, it can condense 4 constantly moving rings of frost around the pit at the moment of release. These 4 high-speed moving rings of frost can not only last for a long time, but also resist the opponent's 4 attacks. Of course, under the control of the pet, these rings of frost can also be transformed into piercing ice spikes in an instant, giving the opponent a painful blow at a critical moment. If Kayling successfully learns this skill, her fighting style will become more colorful. On the sidelines, Chen Wei picked up Kayling's mobile phone and clicked on the detailed teaching video of the frost ring skill. Watch the video carefully and get a feel for it. Don't talk while learning? Chen Wei laughed at the words, shook his head helplessly, and then said nothing more, silently accompanying Kayling to watch the video. The content of the teaching video is not much, only 5 minutes, but the content is full of details. How about it? Do you understand it? After watching it, Chen Wei turned his head and said to Kailing. Oh3, it seems a bit difficult. Kailing's big watery eyes were full of doubts. It's okay, don't worry, you can watch it a few more times if you don't understand it. Chen Wei didn't care and continued to click on the teaching video. To be honest, Chen Wei usually relies on his mobile phone to teach Kailing new skills. After all, he doesn't have the ability to teach Kailing to learn ice skills. In the ice and snow field, time passed slowly. At this time, Kailing was using telekinesis to control the mobile phone to float in the air on the snow, and then she looked like she was thinking hard. While thinking, she carefully watched the ice feather penguin in the video gradually release the frost surround skill under the command of the Beastmaster. Chen Wei sat in a seat not far from the snow, meditating and practicing the source star in his mind. Buzz buzz buzz, the vibration of the mobile phone interrupted Chen Wei's practice. He took out the brand new LE mobile phone in confusion. After checking the Q message, his face became more happy. This afternoon, there are 6 titanium crystal puppets in the puppet mall that need to be identified. In this way, another 60,000 star coins will be deposited. Kailing, stop for a moment. Let's go eat first. I have something to do in the afternoon. We'll practice new skills tomorrow. Chen Wei waved at Kailing, who was still thinking hard. Okay, Kailing had wanted to take a break and eat for a long time. She had been practicing according to the teaching video this morning, but unfortunately she had gained little and had never understood the key points of the frost wrap skill. It was just that she had boasted confidently in front of Chen Wei before, but in the end there was no progress, so she was a little embarrassed to speak. Chen Wei walked to Kailing's side and then stretched out his arm habitually. Swoosh, looking at Kailing's body wrapped around his hand in an instant, Chen Wei smiled. It's okay. Learning the ice tornado today is already a fast progress. You can slowly practice the frost wrap skill tomorrow, don't worry, Chen Wei comforted her softly. You just need to practice meditation while I work in the afternoon. 2 days, you can learn it in just 2 days. Chen Wei's mind suddenly heard Kailing's stubborn voice that refused to admit defeat. 2 days is not too short, it took us more than a week to learn the ice tornado. Chen Wei's face became a little strange, Kailing's strange desire to win. Believe me, as if she felt that Chen Wei did not trust her, Kailing said excitedly. Okay, I trust you the most. Chen Wei smiled knowingly, rubbed Kailing with his cheek as if to comfort her, and then walked towards the restaurant of the Beast Taming Association. The world is big, eating is the most important. As for learning skills, you can take your time. To be honest, Chen Wei really doesn't understand Kailing's pursuit of efficiency in learning new skills, although this is a good thing. But Kailing's speed of learning skills is obviously fast enough, far beyond his expectations, crushing other pets by a large street. Why is she still working so hard? Is she trying to kill herself? Thinking of this, Chen Wei shook his head helplessly. It's not good for this pet to work too hard. As her pet master, I feel a lot of pressure. Chapter 48 Pet Selection. After lunch, Chen Wei, with Kailing wrapped around his neck, went to the puppet mall in the afternoon. Unfortunately, among the 6 titanium crystal puppets he identified this time, there was still no individual with outstanding talent, which resulted in a mutation in race. Chen Wei had left the contract position of the second pet vacant for a long time. If he really couldn't find a titanium crystal puppet with fire talent, he also had several other alternative targets, but he hadn't yet completely determined them. For example, one of the targets was a tall and mighty rotating dragon falcon that could carry people and fly in the sky. Although this dragon falcon has the word dragon in its name, in fact, this pet itself has nothing to do with the dragon system, and its race level is only high-level extraordinary. It's just that it can evolve multiple times in the future and become a transcendent commander level, golden-winged dragon falcon, with sub-dragon blood. As for the other alternative pet, it is the King dragon lizard of the fire and dragon system. Unlike the rotating dragon falcon, the King dragon lizard has a meager sub-dragon bloodline and is a veritable dragon pet, with a top elite race level. This arrogant dual-type pet lives in volcanoes all year round. It can reach a height of up to 8 meters and weigh between 2.1 tons. It is always covered with cyan flame armor. From the head to the tip of the tail, and even the entire back of the King dragon lizard, there are serrated cyan bone spurs. These bone spurs can absorb the fire source energy that permeates the world. The current known research results have found that the highest evolutionary path of the King dragon lizard is the brilliant king level, red sun flame dragon. According to Chen Wei's understanding, there is basically no pet with dragon blood on Blue Star whose racial level is lower than the top elite. And compared with other pets, dragon pets are born with extremely powerful strength. The huge and agile body, the extremely strong scales, and the powerful dragon skills make their strength far superior to most pets of this same level. As for the legendary red-tailed gold, which has a trace of dragon blood, it is one of the very few exceptions and is not recognized by mainstream beastmasters. Therefore, in the eyes of many beastmasters, dragon pets are synonymous with strength. Even in Donghua, which advocates dragon pets and regards the Eastern Azure Dragon as a totem beast, the title of Dragon Master is the honor that most beastmasters dream of. There are few beastmasters who don't want to become an extraordinary dragon knight. This also led to the high value of pets with dragon blood in Donghua, so that Chen Wei, a beastmaster whose innate talent is the power of dragon control, has not been able to contract a dragon pet until now. A good cook cannot cook without rice. Chen Wei felt sad just thinking about it. So he had some ideas about the King dragon lizard, the most easily available pet. But the price of a King dragon lizard cub in the Beastmaster Mall starts at least tens of millions of star coins, which means that Chen Wei needs to win dozens of championships in the Challenge Master competition to be able to afford it. Thinking of this, Chen Wei shook his head helplessly. It seems that the rotating light dragon falcon or the titanium crystal doll is more affordable. Let's wait until he has money to deal with this King dragon lizard. Cultivation is always boring. After finishing their part-time jobs, Chen Wei and Kei Ling returned to the apartment and began a 2.1-line cultivation life. Every morning, they would go to the ice and snow field of the Beast Tamer Association to learn new skills together, and in the afternoon, they would meditate and practice in the room. On the first day, Kei Ling successfully mastered the frost surround. Looking at Kei Ling's figure skillfully controlling 4 rings of frost in the ice and snow, Chen Wei couldn't help but sigh that Kei Ling's learning talent was really high. It was agreed to be 2 days, but she learned it in this morning. On the second day, Chen Wei asked Kei Ling to choose her favorite new skills on her mobile phone. Then she chose the moderately difficult, Frost Guard Ice Explosion. This skill is very simple, that is, while controlling the frost to freeze the enemy, it can instantly detonate the surrounding ice power, thereby causing multiple explosion damage. If it is combined with the field skill of Polar Ice, Kei Ling can even cause a large-scale avalanche disaster covering a wide range in the snowy mountains, thereby burying any enemy. On the third day, Kei Ling successfully mastered the skill of Frost Guard Ice Explosion. On the fourth day, when Kei Ling was moving at high speed in the ice and snow training ground, the snowflakes falling from the sky seemed to explode and bloom in the air like fireworks. As expected, she successfully learned Frost Guard Ice Explosion. In response, Chen Wei took a deep breath and said that everything was normal, then touched Kei Ling, who was full of pride. The time of cultivation passed quickly, and soon a month passed. Chen Wei got up early today. He first selected a few cold-proof clothes from the closet and put them into the star ring, then walked to the refrigerator in the room and put the food that had been packed into the star ring. Yeah, no room. Kei Ling and Chen Wei's arms immediately looked up at him with dissatisfaction. You bear it for a while, and I will change you a star ring with a larger space after a while. Chen Wei touched Kei Ling's head and said with a smile. Okay. When Kei Ling heard Chen Wei say that he would change her house, she quickly responded happily. The space of the standard star ring is not large, so she usually doesn't like to stay in it. After breakfast, Chen Wei put Kei Ling into the star ring, and then took the bus to the Beast Tamer building. This time, Chen Wei deliberately arrived at the Beast Tamer Square 15 minutes earlier. After all, today was the day he was going to the Nanbin Mountain Secret Realm. After standing at the meeting point and waiting for 10 minutes, a bus with a Nanbin Mountain special line marked on the window drove into the square. No. A19,956, it seems to be this one. He carefully looked at the bus in front of him, and walked straight forward after confirming that it was correct. Please show me your Beast Tamer badge. A soft female voice suddenly rang in Chen Wei's ears. Chen Wei took out his identity badge from the star ring and handed it to the staff in front of him. Tick. After passing the instrument inspection, the attendant looked at Chen Wei in front of him with a thoughtful look in his eyes. This is your badge. Welcome to participate in this secret realm test. Chen Wei nodded politely after taking the badge, and then walked up through the open door. As soon as he got on the bus, he glanced at the situation inside the bus and found that there were already a few Beastmasters sitting sparsely on the bus, but none of them were known to Chen Wei. Without thinking too much, he directly chose a seat with no one around and sat down. When they entered the secret realm, the Beastmasters here are all his potential competitors. A few minutes later, a familiar and cute female voice suddenly sounded in the quiet bus. "Can I sit here?" Chen Wei looked up, his eyes flashed with a hint of surprise, and a faint smile appeared on his face. Of course. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelis. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 49 Secret Realm Information. Chen Wei felt a fragrant breeze coming, and then he found that Yu Zilman was already sitting next to him. "I can finally meet you here." A proud smile appeared on Yu Zilman's delicate face, and she said with a smile, "Long time no see. I knew you would not miss the opportunity to enter the secret realm automatically after the champion won 10 consecutive games. I didn't expect to meet you here. Are you also here for the Xiantian Snow Pond?" Chen Wei subconsciously looked at Yu Zilman. "Yes, you also know that when the larval stage pets awaken their own power, they cannot use external objects to improve their strength, except for some very rare elixirs that can increase the potential of pets. Only the secret realm, a treasure land bred by nature, can increase the potential of pets, and even evolve them." Yu Zilman's eyes lit up, and then she explained casually. "It's just that the level of the secret realm this time is really a bit low, and our pets can only slightly improve their qualifications at most." Yu Zilman's tone was a little regretful. Chen Wei raised his eyebrows and asked curiously, "Didn't President Meng say that this snow pool has a very small probability of allowing pets to complete their species evolution? Why can our pets only increase their potential?" Yu Zilman looked at Chen Wei in surprise, with a strange look on her face. If low-level beast controller resources can have a great effect on high-level pets, this secret realm would not be the turn of these new beast masters. "Did President Meng tell you that this Xianjuan secret realm is only level 3? What does level 3 mean? Does it represent the level of resources?" Chen Wei frowned slightly and scratched his cheek in confusion. "Yes, a level 3 secret realm will not have level 4 beast control resources. Of course, there are very few exceptions. The Xianjuan secret realm is the same as the Xianyuan secret realm, which is divided into levels 1 to 9. Secret realms above level 3 are named the 4 levels of universe and wildness. Currently, the U-level secret realm has never appeared on Blue Star, while the Zhou level corresponds to legendary beasts, and the wild and wild levels correspond to secret realms inhabited by epic overlords to top elites. It is said that the monster disaster in Shushan City 12 years ago was caused by the newly born wild level Xianyuan secret realm. That secret realm suddenly appeared, and 4 king-level monsters appeared. Chen Wei's face darkened slightly when he heard this. He knew that unlike the harmless Xianjuan secret realm, every time the Xianyuan secret realm appeared in Donghua, a large number of demonized beasts would emerge, without exception. However, every time the beast tide appeared, it would be suppressed in time by the Beast Control Association. Even though Shushan City finally succeeded in calming the beast tide that year, it also paid a lot of price. The Nanbin Mountain secret realm is only a low-level secret realm. The beast control resources in it will not exceed level 3, and they have a good effect on most high-level extraordinary pets, but after the association's careful exploration, the resources left behind are at most level 2. Yu Zilman did not notice Chen Wei's emotional changes, and she continued to explain seriously. Although the Xiantian Snow Pool is the core treasure of this low-level secret realm, it is only level 3 beast control resources after all. This snow pool cannot promote pets to the top elite level. Medium-specific pets have a high probability of evolving into high-level extraordinary. Chen Wei slapped his thigh when he heard this. Why didn't he ask President Meng more clearly at that time? Among the titanium crystal puppets he recently identified, there is a puppet cat with a crystal system compatibility of 40% and a fire attribute compatibility of 50%. Unfortunately, its race level is only medium-specific, and Chen Wei finally chose to give up the contract with great pain. If he lets it soak in the Xiantian Snow Pool after the contract is signed, wouldn't he have a good chance of getting a titanium crystal puppet that is better than Sister Mu Ning's crystal? Yu Zilman's mouth twitched when she saw this. Why did Chen Wei suddenly get so excited? She was not so excited even when she found out that Chen Wei's initial pet was the cold jade snake that she failed to contract with. Feeling Yu Zilman's surprised look beside him, Chen Wei smiled a little embarrassedly. No, I just thought that my second pet has not been contracted yet, and it's a pity to miss this opportunity. It's okay. Each Beastmaster has only one chance to enter the snow pool. It's not bad to give it to the cold jade snake. Yu Zilman immediately covered her mouth and smiled. The Xianshan snow pool will be supervised and protected by a senior Beastmaster specially dispatched by the association. No matter whether it is a Beastmaster or a pet, only one of the two can enter, and I heard that this snow pool is not very effective for Beastmasters to condense source stars. It is more cost-effective to improve the strength and potential of your own pet. It may also increase the success rate of the pet's future evolution. Thinking that these are not secret information, Yu Zilman said with a smile after a little hesitation. After seeing the strength of Chen Wei's cold jade snake, she really wants to become friends with Chen Wei. Maybe they can communicate about their understanding of pet cultivation in the future. I see. If it weren't for you, I wouldn't know that there are so many ways to evolve pets. Chen Wei smiled and thanked him. Since I missed it, there is no way. After all, even if I contracted the titanium crystal puppet, it may not be able to complete the evolution. If this snow pool can increase the success rate of K Ling's future evolution, it is also a good thing. Want to team up to explore the secret realm together? Yu Zilman generously invited Chen Wei beside her. Can we still form a team? Won't the Beastmasters who enter the secret realm appear randomly in different locations? Chen Wei asked hurriedly. He didn't really want to form a team with others to explore the secret realm. The Beastmaster Association has mastered the core of this secret realm and can control the way to enter the secret realm at will. They have a bad taste. They can obviously fix the location of the entrance to the secret realm, but they chose the random transmission method. I guess they want to test our personal survival ability in the wild. Yu Zilman exposed the intentions of the association's top leaders in a flat tone. After entering the secret realm, as long as you pull this flare, my blue frost falcon can detect your location while soaring in the sky, and then quickly find you. Chen Wei watched Yu Zilman take out an exquisite flare from the star ring and immediately handed it to him. He felt helpless in his heart. It seems that she has been planning this for a long time. The exploration time of the secret realm is only 3 days. It would be a waste of time if we gather together and then act. Our ultimate goal is the Xianshan snow pond. Otherwise, we will talk about it after we meet at the top of Xianshan Mountain. Chen Wei refused tactfully. K Ling has been feeling advanced recently. If K Jing succeeds in advancing in the secret realm, many of the resources he has prepared for a long time will come in handy, and no one else can be present. Yu Zilman was slightly stunned, as if she didn't expect Chen Wei to refuse. It's okay, if you like to explore the secret realm alone, it's okay, I can understand. She pouted first, then smiled sweetly. Chapter 50 Entering the Secret Realm. The atmosphere in the car suddenly became dull. At this time, Yu Zilman's nose wrinkled slightly, and she stared at Chen Wei with some resentment. She originally wanted to send Chen Wei a detailed map of the Nanbingshan secret realm and exchange mobile phone contact information. Now it seems that it is not necessary, and she does not want to continue to be self-indulgent. Feeling Yu Zilman's gaze, Chen Wei had to pretend to be indifferent and observe the situation around him. There are currently 10 people on the bus, most of whom are influential figures in Shushan No. 1 Middle School, and there are only 2 Beastmasters he is familiar with. One is Meng Haoj, a gentle boy who has played a game with him, and the other is a handsome young man he met in the Beast Taming Association. As for why Chen Wei was so impressed by this young man, it was purely because of the green Tengayan Kingshan lying on his head. The emerald green color of this pet is really too eye-catching. However, it seems that except for me, there is no student from Shushan No. 2 Middle School on this bus. How is the qualification for this secret realm allocated? Chen Wei thought to himself. The awkward atmosphere between him and Yu Zilman did not last long, and a middle-aged man dressed in a proper manner got on the car, looked around, and said with full energy, "Since everyone is here, let's set off now." Hearing this familiar voice, Chen Wei looked up and saw that it was President Meng of the Beast Taming Association who led the team this time. Meng Bowen said in a gentle tone, "Everyone here can become the first batch of new Beastmasters to explore the secret realm, which means that you are all the best among the new Beastmasters in Shushan City. I hope you can gain a lot in the secret realm." But compared to the possible gains, you must know that there is only one life. Meng Bowen's tone changed and became a little serious. Whoever finds the resources first will own them. I don't want you to suffer casualties in this secret realm exploration because of the competition for resources. Those who violate the rules will be expelled from the secret realm directly, and some people with bad behavior will be investigated and punished. Do you understand? Meng Bowen's eyes sternly scanned the beastmasters around him. The car was suddenly silent. Although this secret realm is of a lower level, and there will be basically no treasure stealing and murder after the association has searched, he still has to give these little guys a warning. After all, the secret realm that appeared in Chang City before is a lesson for us. Who would have thought that such a precious and rare pet beast existed in that small third-level secret realm? As a result, an ordinary secret realm training caused Chang City to lose 2 outstanding new beastmasters. After the warning, he sat down next to Meng Haoj neatly, and then continued in a gentle tone, "Next, I will explain the details of this secret realm to you. Both of them have the surname Meng and look similar. They are not father and son." Chen Wei looked at Meng Bowen, who was talking non-stop in the distance, and Meng Haoj beside him, and suddenly a strange idea popped up in his mind. As the name suggests, Shushan City is surrounded by beautiful mountains and rivers. Nanbin Mountain is a small, unknown mountain in the suburbs of Shushan City, with an altitude of only more than 800 meters. The ancients said, "In the deepest part of the smoke and mist, strange lights and rocks appear in the forest." Nanbin Mountain also has another name for Zion Mountain. It is said that a long time ago, when the mountain was surrounded by smoke and haze, a real dragon soaring in the clouds appeared, which attracted a large number of powerful people to go there. But unfortunately, these beastmasters who came here did not find any traces of real dragons, and even this mountain did not have any powerful beasts. So the news that there was a dragon here became a rumor that was not worth mentioning. As time passed, Zion Mountain became the desolate Nanbin Mountain. At this time, a bus slowly stopped on the mountainside of Nanbin Mountain. "Get off, the vehicles can't go up a mountain road behind, so you can only walk." After saying this, President Meng got off the bus directly. After hearing this, everyone on the bus was a little excited, and hurriedly arranged in the order of seats, and then lined up in an orderly manner to get off the bus. As soon as Chen Wei got off the bus, he found that the mountain in front of him was shrouded in a hazy and mysterious white mist. Under the sunlight, the white mist in the distance actually showed a faint purple light. "Is this the purple smoke? It's really beautiful." Yu Zilman, who was beside him, couldn't help but exclaimed at the beautiful scenery in front of him. "It's beautiful, but it's a pity that Nanbin Mountain has been desolate for many years because there are no special pets." Although Chen Wei also thought the beautiful scenery in front of him was good, he didn't pay much attention to it. Compared with things like scenery, he still thinks that things like beast control resources are more practical. "The smoke is very thick, let's follow the president, be careful not to leave the team," Chen Wei reminded, and the two of them were at the end of the queue. "Ah. Okay." Yu Zilman was slightly stunned and quickly caught up with the team. This mountain is not high for beastmasters. After just half an hour, everyone came to the top of Nanbin Mountain, where the army stationed by the Beast Control Association was entrenched. "We're here. The small hill in front is the entrance to the secret realm." President Meng turned around and said, "Remember, you must carry the Kongming stone bracelet distributed by the association with you. When you encounter danger, you can take the initiative to trigger the exit from the secret realm, or when the 3 days are up, the bracelet will automatically teleport you out," President Meng reminded at last. "By the way, if you lose the bracelet, you will be fined. Believe me, you don't want to know the specific price of this thing." Students who are ready can go forward to register and enter the secret realm. After hearing this, everyone chose to enter the secret realm as soon as possible, as if they were afraid that they would be late and could not soak in the snow pool. Chen Wei's position was still at the end of the team. Fortunately, there were only 10 people in line, and it was soon his turn. Looking at the soldiers in front of him who were waiting in full battle array, Chen Wei stretched out his hand and handed over his Beastmaster badge. "Enter." After completing the registration, the soldier in front of him waved his hand to indicate that he could pass. Chen Wei walked to the hill and looked at the huge rune array in front of him that exuded a faint red luster. Above the rune array was a hazy space gate that was about 10 feet long and wide. Even before his body approached, he felt a faint cold air blowing from the space gate not far away. "It seems that the other side is indeed a very cold environment," Chen Wei exclaimed. Looking at the figure of the Beastmaster who disappeared after entering the gate in front of him, Chen Wei did not hesitate, strode forward directly, and then stepped into the gate of the secret realm. Buzz buzz buzz, it seemed to be the sequelae of teleportation. Chen Wei's head seemed to be hit hard by someone. He suddenly felt a little dizzy and his steps were a little unstable. It was not until a cold wind with snowflakes hit Chen Wei's face that he suddenly woke up. Hiss. It's so cold. The sudden change in temperature made Chen Wei shiver. He was wearing summer clothes now. I recommended it on. If you think this book is okay, please click to read it. End of this chapter. Thank you very much for reaching the end. Don't forget to like. Looking for more exclusive content and immediate access? Subscribe to our Patreon. Remember, every like, subscription, or donation encourages us to continue. Thanks to everyone. See you in the next video.